Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the TimcastIRL podcast, and joining me tonight, as usual, is...
What's up, everybody? Adam Krigler here. Hey-o.
And we got huge news. We got a camera. She's no longer invisible.
Boom. There
Sour
she
Patch
is.
Lids is visible.
It's official. The camera's set.
So you can see her face.
Hello, everyone.
And ready to go.
Now, if you're listening to this on like iTunes or something, you still can't see anyone's face, so that's too bad.
But thanks for coming anyway.
We got a bunch of stories, actually. We always have a bunch of stories. It's hard to know how many we'll actually get to. But the first one, the most fun, is Trump calling for liberation and being called a fascist for it.
Of course.
I was like, wait, what? Trump tweets, liberate Minnesota, liberate Michigan. And the response from a bunch of these people is like, you fascist.
Yep.
The president calls for giving up executive authority, and they call him a fascist?
I don't get it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on there. I'm just
It doesn't
confused.
make sense.
It's funny. But
Yep.
a bunch of conservative groups are planning on doing more protests. We already saw a whole bunch. So we're going to talk a bit about, government overreach. Strangely, it's the federal government that's resisting it. I mean, at least they're saying they are.
Yeah.
They kind of are. I mean, Trump's been trying to reopen the economy for a long time. They've been yelling at him for it.
I almost believe he should just say I'm for impeaching me.
So that they just...
Like, you guys should impeach me. And they'll be like, whoa.
Trump's trying to quit.
Wait, what?
Don't let him quit. You ran for president. You got to finish out your term. And if you get reelected, that's what they'll do. They'll do it.
Oh, man.
That'd be
Yeah.
funny.
But we got a bunch of other stories, too. And speaking about, government overreach, we actually have a bunch of stories from New York. It's really frustrating. Like, they're letting out 1,500 criminals from the jails. A nurse is getting beat up by muggers. But it's not all bad news. The NYPD is still policing, detaining a 12-year-old boy for selling candy. I'm glad they're doing something.
I'm glad they're doing their jobs.
Dang kids selling candy.
I
They always
don't
come
know,
up to me and they're trying to raise money for their school uniforms. They're not really raising money for school uniforms.
Yeah, they're just trying to make a buck.
Right.
Whatever.
So it's like, you know what you do? You tell them to stop. You shoo them off.
Yeah.
And then when you go out and you see the chick getting mugged, the nurse, you stop the mugging.
Yeah.
And then you don't let them out of jail. But hey, man, this is why I'll never be in politics, because I don't ask me. But we have a couple other stories. So there's like some disaster news. Very creepy. German zoo is apparently going to be feeding the zoo animals to other zoo animals.
No.
Yep.
Oh, what?
To keep the zoo going.
That's crazy. Wow.
I don't know why zoos are a thing.
I was just watching.
I don't agree with zoos.
You know that movie? I was just watching it, Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
I wonder if you guys who are listening have watched it. It's basically like
I
the
love
world.
it.
It's a cool concept. It's kind of silly, but so all the governments of the world release this gas to combat global warming, and it freezes the planet.
Yeah.
Like up too much. So there's this crazy guy who made a train that's a closed biome, and so he's basically recycling humans.
All I can think,
To, like-
I just want to talk about the conspiracy of that
The
movie.
Willy Wonka thing.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but Snowpiercer supposedly is the next Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, the sequel. Like, he's actually, I don't know if you've seen it. I actually don't really want to ruin
silly.
it. It's silly, but it's awesome.
It's funny because he does say
It's
at the end of the
cool.
movie that
I like it.
like the movie's 10 years old.
Yeah.
He does say at the end of the movie like that part has gone extinct and
Yeah.
he needs children to operate the finer parts. It's like what does extinct mean? Was it
Oompa Loompas.
But no. But anyway, it's like the train. The bad guy talks about the balance of the train.
Yeah.
Like we must only have a certain number of people. That's what it feels like going on with the zoo. They're like to make the bring balance to the zoo. We must feed the ostrich to the lion because we're running out of food. That's crazy. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I think we are about to see the food shortage get bad.
I inclined to agree.
Because when we went to the store a while ago, there was a lot missing, but still a lot of food.
Yeah.
Apparently now it's substantially worse.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So the last store run apparently was depleted substantially, and we couldn't get a lot of what we wanted. But who knows? We'll see. I mean, they're dumping all this food out.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we got to talk about Trump demanding liberation.
Yep.
Fascists
Let's
trying
do
to
it. Let's
liberate
talk about it.
people from their governments. That's what
Great.
fascists do. But before we get started, make sure you hop in the super chat if you want us to read your comments. We don't always get to everybody, but we try our best to get to as many as we can. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and maybe after all of that, YouTube might actually recommend this content to you.
Yes.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Worth a shot.
Meanwhile, they're putting the mainstream media up on the front page of YouTube, guaranteed.
Yep.
And then what's funny is they're doing these press releases where they're like, live stream content is up 75%. It's like, oh, you mean for CBS and CNN because you put them on the front page of your website.
Is that
Wow.
why?
I'm so surprised that's happening to these people.
Yeah.
And then they report 3 months behind everybody else.
Yeah, I don't get
So
it.
you know what? if you see what I see, and if you would seek as I seek, then share this podcast so that, people don't just listen to the mainstream media because they're awful.
I half expected you to put a Guy Fawkes Max on.
I love that line. If you would seek as I seek, then join me by sharing this podcast so that other people could join in.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'll do that more often, huh?
Yeah.
Please do.
So I also want to point one thing out before we get started. Some people have been complaining that the UFO isn't spinning enough. So I have this here, and we're gonna make it spin for you.
That's what I wanted.
It's
There
not
we go.
nearly as fun for me. I kind of liked getting up there and fiddling with
Messing
it. But oh well.
Okay, I think I overdid it. Now it's
Wow.
wobbling, and it's probably gonna
fly
fall.
off.
There's gonna be aliens that are inside. They're just puking on the walls
Super
now.
seasick.
So
They're like, what's happening?
I'm loving the probable people who are like on iTunes. Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. What's spinning? Are they in a thing? Like, is the thing spinning?
There's a floating
So
UFO on our table.
I have this air duster that I just got, and you can use it to spin the levitating UFO. And I spun it so hard it started bouncing up and down, and then just popped off.
Yeah.
So I'll try not to do that.
It's
But
really spinning now.
Speaking of spinning, Trump wants to liberate the states. That has nothing to do with spinning, but here we go. We're going to talk about the news.
Moving on.
Nice segue.
Nice, excellent segue. So earlier today, I saw these tweets from Donald Trump, and it was what he's like, liberate Michigan. I don't even know what it means. Liberate Michigan, liberate Virginia, and save your great Second Amendment. It is under siege. And liberate Minnesota. Now, apparently, this has caused uproar. The founder of the Young Turks is shocked, saying, if anyone commits violence against officials in Michigan, Minnesota, or Virginia, real Donald Trump should be impeached again. I'm not joking. He clearly incited violence. He's a deranged madman, and we have to get him out of office before he does more damage. This is unprecedented. What? Man.
He really is kind of losing his edge.
He lost it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I got to say it. He lost his edge.
He's lost the plot.
He used to be.
He fell off. I used to like the Young Turks. I used to watch them and be like, this is pretty legit. Like,
he's always had weird things going on.
Yeah.
But they used to be anti-establishment. Mm-hmm. Now they're pseudo anti-establishment.
Yeah, it's like I heard that he wanted to, he was trying to convince his employees to not go into a union. You know? It's like, why would you want that? And then he started complaining of the airline. You guys
That's an old video. That's an old video.
I know, but still, when it surfaced, I was like, is this guy for real?
Yeah, it's a video of him talking into his phone, being like, "This airline's not getting me on this flight. Yeah. I demand this." Why would you post that? Don't you know who I am? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. No, they don't. You're a YouTuber.
Yeah.
None of us expect any recognition from regular people.
Right.
If I was on the cover,
it doesn't matter how famous you think you are. You're still just a regular human being.
I mean. Boom. He's famous, but come on, man.
It doesn't matter.
If he was walking, no. If he was walking on the street, people are going to be like, "Who?"
Yeah, who are you?
If you walk up to somebody and say, "Do you know who Cenk Uygur is?" They're going to be like, "What?"
I'm sorry. What did you just ask me a question?
Was that what did you say?
Is that a name or
junk?
Is that some food?
Cenk Uygur is his name. They'll be like, "Oh
right.
no, I don't know who that is."
Yeah, no, I don't. Never heard that.
It's funny because he's really got this thing about him where he really brags about the viewership of the Young Turks, and I'm just like, bro, chill, man. Oh, could you like it's one thing when we rag on other networks for doing miserably, like CNN's ratings are dropping dramatically all the time, and I try to be fair and say their YouTube ratings are like 300 million in the past month. Keep in mind YouTube props them up, but it's really weird when he tweeted this recently. There's an article that says Joe Biden's losing the internet. There's no left-wing YouTube or whatever. And he was like, what about the Young Turks? We get way more views. I'm so angry that the New York Times won't recognize me. Just do your thing, man.
Sad.
Stop complaining. Anyway.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't want to
stop caring.
I didn't want to go off on a tangent about the Young Turks, but I do feel like they've kind of started spiraling.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like they're chasing the tribe instead of chasing the principle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to highlight that to show you just how angry and outraged everyone was that Donald Trump tweeted these three things. I got to be honest. You want to know what I thought? The first thing I thought when I saw these tweets from Trump, I thought this. Huh. That's it. I saw the tweet. I was like, the president tweeted again. Like, you'd think after this many years, you'd be like, huh.
Yeah.
He said it's unprecedented. Are you kidding me? I thought it was unprecedented when he tweeted that one was a horse face.
That was a little unprecedented.
I didn't hear this. No.
Yeah, he tweeted that Stormy Daniels it was Stormy Daniels, right? He called her horse face.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The funniest thing about it is that he allegedly slept with her. So it's
self-burn. Those are rare.
You know what, man? If you can't have a sense of humor about these things,
right?
What do people think is going to happen? Like Trump's going to say something stupid and then the world's going to blow up?
I don't know.
Yeah, he really doesn't care what people think.
He doesn't care. No,
he clearly doesn't care.
No, he likes to poke them.
Yeah. Well, he likes to
exactly.
be self-deprecating on purpose.
People and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So here's
let's get back to it.
Look at this. The tweets, which marked Trump's most aggressive calls yet for state economies to reopen. I mean, technically, but what do these tweets mean? Liberate them from who? Him?
Right.
From the
Canada
governors?
Invade or what?
It's
from the coronavirus. Duh.
They're I would call these tweets silly. I don't think they're meant to be literal calls to revolution from the president.
Right.
I think he's just like it's rallying a bunch of protesters. And you know what? These protesters, we have the story from Willamette Week. I chose this publication on purpose because they're from Portland, so they're super biased.
Okay.
But they're like right-wing protesters are planning Reopen America rallies at state capitals in Oregon and Washington and a bunch of other places. And I imagine these guys with their American flags saw the president tweet this, and you know what they said? Oh, yeah.
There's a tweet that I'm trying to find right now. Neil deGrasse Tyson said it. He said, there's two. I wanted to read it. I couldn't find it, but basically what he says is there's two like conundrums right now, and it's like, what the first one is. Man, I really want to read it. Here we go. I just found
you got it.
Yeah, here we go. He goes, my gosh, there's so many things that make no sense to this.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson frequently tweets things that make no sense.
That's true.
No, there's so much random stuff I'm seeing that he tweets out.
Just like
my
ranting?
Goodness. Yeah, just.
Well, you pull it up and
you keep.
And
going.
I'll reel a bit more of this. We'll see what's going on. A group. Here we go. A group calling itself Liberate Minnesota staged a protest Friday afternoon outside the residence of the state governor, Tim Walz. Live streamed video of the protests showed throngs of people packed closely outside the residence, many waving pro-Trump signs and flags. Few participants appeared to be wearing masks or other protective gear. Yeah, they don't care.
Wow, it's been deleted.
He deleted the tweet.
The tweet has been deleted. The one that I was about to read.
Why? What was it about?
It was basically him saying if you don't have dandruff, why do you use dandruff shampoo? And if the state doesn't have many COVID cases, why aren't we open yet? Basically.
Right. The point being that the treatment's working.
Right. The treatment's working. Everything's kind of on the decline. Like, why are we still in lockdown? He was basically calling it out.
Well, he's basically saying we should be locked down.
No, I think, but he's saying
no.
I guess it could be perceived either way.
The point is,
it's to prevent dandruff.
The dandruff thing was a reference to a Head and Shoulders commercial.
Right.
Where the guy is talking to the woman and she sees Head and Shoulders in the bathroom and she goes, Head and Shoulders, but you don't have dandruff. Exactly.
Right.
He's using it. So the point he was trying to make was,
I see.
The reason we don't have a lot of cases is because we're locked down. And that's a fair point.
It does make sense.
So I'm seeing a bunch of people, and this is the weirdest thing to me. They're like, and it's not the biggest group, but there's enough of them, and they're high profile saying, see, they were projecting 200,000. Now what the real number is only 40,000.
Right.
They were wrong. It's like, no. Like, the viral tweet right now is that the guy's like, my doctor said I would die if I didn't take this medicine. Well, I took the medicine and didn't die. I guess he was wrong. No, he was right.
Wait,
like, you're supposed to do that.
Makes him right. Yeah.
However, as much as that's true, the other thing that's really, really mind numbing to me, because there are even like people I know and like people I like friends of mine who are tweeting about Dr. Phil.
Okay.
Like, oh, this guy's not even a real doctor. What do you mean? He's got a PhD, dude. He's a clinical psychologist. He was on Fox talking about the psychology of people and how they're going to get depressed and lonely and it's going to be traumatic. So, we need to reconsider. We need to consider opening up these states.
Yep.
And so he gets slammed across the board by everybody. You know what I've found? Look, we've got a bunch of states that have locked down. It's been devastating. Yeah. 22 million jobless claims. You've got Whitmer in Michigan, which is like the most egregious governor.
Yes.
Where she's basically like, she did this interview where she goes, everybody, complaining about these lockdowns, but it's snowing anyway. So the things about like not being able to go gardening, well, it's going to snow anyway.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, right. I love the Patrick Henry joke. It's like the famous quote from Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. Unless it snows, because then.
Yeah.
Then you don't need liberty.
Well, it's snowing. Liberty. I guess I'm all right.
Yeah,
no liberty
fine.
if it's snowing.
No big deal.
Right.
Yeah, no liberty for anybody.
That's fine.
It's snowing, you're fine.
But that was another viral tweet from hers. And a lot of people think she's just trying to get press attention, positive or negative, so that she can get that VP ticket or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Some people are thinking that she's like lighting herself on fire because by doing this weird stuff, They're just
that's what I think.
she's
People are
lost it.
pissed.
Yeah.
To see
I would be.
So we had somebody comment in the super chat about this the other day about not being able to buy seeds.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy seeds, but the law that the executive order she signed or whatever said that certain stores over a certain size, like Walmart and stuff, had to close most of these sections, including gardening and whatever.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So that meant you couldn't buy seeds, but you could still go to some places and buy seeds. I'm sure, I don't know if Walmart wouldn't sell them to you, but then she actually made the point that you couldn't go gardening because of the order she signed. So, okay, so you sure you can buy the seeds, but you can't go and buy gardening supplies. That's the weirdest thing ever. This is the problem with government overreach. They think they know what is essential and what isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't. The example I gave. What if, I don't know, a pipe burst in your house?
Right.
And you need some of that good old flex tape. You know flex tape from that commercial?
That's great.
Where the guy slaps the thing, boom.
It really does work wonders.
Boom, flex tape.
Stuff's awesome.
Well, what if they close down the hardware section saying nobody needs this?
Yeah.
And you're like, I've got a water main break in my house and I need something. Flex tape will do the job. And they're like, sorry, section's closed. That's essential, man. Your house floods, you become homeless. What do you do? They think they know, they don't. I'm like, they said like the hardware section was shut down, flooring and stuff. Like, what if a hole forms in your floor? Like, I don't know, some kid drops a bag of bowling balls and I don't know what kids are doing these days. And they got a hole in your floor.
Yeah.
So you try going to Home Depot and they're like, first of all, you can't come without a mask. Then you got to go get a mask.
Yeah.
And that's fine, I guess.
I mean, where do you buy masks other than
can't go in
Home
the
Depot?
store, yeah,
That's
what are
where
you
I would.
supposed to
I'd be
do?
like,
That
where do
was-
I get a mask? Well, I guess I would go to Home Depot and get a mask.
That was actually something that happened to us when we went to
how?
Home Depot.
But if you didn't have a mask, what would you do? Just like pick your shirt up?
No, you
Pretty
can't.
much.
So we had to like wrap a shirt around our face. But I was like, we were there, like, you can't come without a mask. I was like, but you guys sell the masks. Where do I go to get a mask?
Did they actually have masks to buy or?
Oh, I don't know. I was like, whatever, man. I just wrapped a shirt around my face,
Yeah.
tight with a shoelace,
Jeez.
and they were like, that's fine. But yeah, that's the point. The reason authoritarianism doesn't work, it's very, very simple. One person does not know everything and never will.
Absolutely.
One thing people do know, each person knows.
Lydia Cam.
What? Lydia Cam.
If somebody is an individual, then they're going to make the right choice for themselves. That's who it should be.
For
left to.
themselves.
No, they're not.
Oh,
No.
they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
No, they're not.
Well,
No.
I mean,
Tell me.
It would definitely be biased towards what they want.
Right. That's the better way to put it.
Yeah.
They would make the right choice for themselves.
When a bunch of people
Yes, I agree
are
with
riding
that.
around on Rascals in a Walmart,
That's fair.
ordering a gallon of Coke with their double cheese extra pepperoni pizza.
Hey, man, I know.
There are serious problems, but hey, I'll tell you what. There's a bias towards what they actually need to function.
Yeah.
If your kid
Agreed.
dropped the bowling balls in your floor, you're going to know that you
Yeah.
need the flex tape.
Well,
Was more along the lines of
you're
what
gonna
I was getting.
need wood to
Right,
fix the hole in the floor.
exactly. Oh, right, yeah.
If the kid threw a bowling ball at the water pipe and
Yeah,
it broke, then
that normally
what
happens.
normally breaks water mains? I don't know.
Freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, your kid spilled the liquid nitrogen
Oh, yeah.
and then a bowling ball.
You shouldn't
There's
let
some
your...
weird people in
Got
this
some weird
house.
kids.
I don't know what kids do these days. Playing with, I see the YouTube videos where they're spraying everybody with liquid nitrogen or whatever it is.
That sounds dangerous.
Oh no, you know what they do on? It's actually would make more sense if they were using like a torch to light a nickel ball. You ever see those videos?
Oh,
Or,
where they
or
drop
batteries.
No, the
Yeah.
kid got the hydraulic press.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
The
Oh,
you know.
jeez.
This is
Yeah.
your fault.
All
for
these-
getting
all these
into the
different YouTube
hydraulic
You know what?
press.
Lucky for you, I do know how to fix that.
Oh,
So.
nice.
What?
We're-
Water
we're
main
good.
break?
Yeah.
See, Adam
But
knows.
so we are being silly, but
Yeah.
I think the point I was going to make about the economic shutdown, like it is true that if someone says you took your medicine, you didn't, you got better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we shut everything down, we didn't get hit as hard, but now we need to start reopening the economies. The funny thing, the reason I brought up Dr. Phil in this one is because I see all these people yelling at him, and Andrew Cuomo said the exact same thing. I'm just so sick of it, man.
Yeah,
when
me
Andrew
too.
Cuomo says it, it's law. It's
can
the
do
word
no
of the
wrong.
Lord.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, Andrew Cuomo, he should be president. Like I hear that all the
Alyssa
time. and it's
Milano
like he's
called him
saying-
America's
he's
president.
saying the same thing
Yeah.
as the president.
He
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
But-
and Dr. Phil, and
But everyone's yelling at him. And this whole Dr. Phil thing is so stupid. He's not an MD. It's like, yeah, his comment was about the psychological health of the country. And that's what he's a doctor at.
facts don't matter. Facts don't matter.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I mean, no, I think we all do get it.
frustrating.
I think we say I don't get it as kind of like a colloquial frustration.
Yes.
You're right.
But we do get it.
Yeah.
These people don't
You're
know.
right.
They don't care. It's just a bunch of stooges
care.
like, trying to fit in.
Yep.
It's like a bunch of, you know what you could do? I'd be willing to bet you could hire a bunch of people to do something really, really weird, like, you know, just dance randomly in a spot, and random people would join in.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, I'm look at me.
Go on.
And like go in the circle.
I like where your head's at.
Maybe we should do something like this, like a social experiment.
TimcastIRL dance.
A social experiment.
No.
Where
No?
we prove
Yeah.
where we prove that you can trick people into doing ridiculous things or believing ridiculous things by surrounding them by enough people who are saying or doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's actually a couple that I keep talking about. There's 100 humans, and the show is kind of silly, and some of the experiments they do are a little biased the way they do it, so it kind of annoys me. But sometimes it's really cool. And they do this one where they have 100 people stand in like a grid, and they take half of them away, and then they teach the other half how to do a dance. And then they bring the other half back, and they're like, all right, everybody, we're time to do the dance. And they were seeing how many of the people that weren't there started doing the dance, and all of them were like,
Totally.
Did
Did I ever tell you?
Like, dang, all of them are doing it.
I told you guys the Antifa story, right? When they didn't recognize me.
I think so.
No.
I probably did.
Is this in Germany?
No.
Oh, okay.
This one's in New
Remember this.
York.
Oh, okay. I don't know this one.
I've told it often, so I'll be quick with it. I mean, maybe there's a lot of people who aren't familiar, but Mike Cernovich was speaking at Columbia University in New York, so I decided to go check it out. And I've actually spoken there too. I was invited to like PhD programs at Columbia several times. So I'm like, I'll go bring my camera and I'll film stuff. So I'm in this lobby with, I don't know, 100 protesters, and they're all yelling, Mike Cernovich, oh, we hate the guy or whatever. And I'm just standing there like my eyes are half closed, glazed over, like this is boring, whatever.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden someone yells, Tim Pool is alt-right or something like that.
Okay.
And they all start looking around confused because nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I started looking around confused too. Like, oh, gee, who's this?
So
Where's this guy?
Who's this guy? Who's this
And
guy?
they couldn't figure it out.
Good moves.
And so they all start, the guy points towards me and everyone looks. So I turn with the camera and look too.
Like, wait,
like I get
where?
it, dude.
Where's
The- you don't want to single yourself out to people who don't know what's going on. So I'm like, who are they talking about?
Yep.
And the guy, he puts his hand over, he's like, this guy. No one knows what's happening. And all of a sudden, some random dude starts yelling, walks up to some journalists on the other side of the room, an old guy wearing a vest with a camera, and he starts yelling at him, it's you. You people are the problem. And everyone's like confused. And the journalist like points himself like, me? Like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm filming. And then finally the guy comes up and he's like, this is Tim Pool. And then they all turn around and start yelling at me.
Oh,
and I was laughing. I'm like, these people have no idea who I am.
They have no idea.
They're just saying whatever they were told to say. That's how messed up these people are. So, when it comes to Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks calling Trump a fascist when Trump says to actually relinquish government power.
Oh, man.
What man? I'm just trying to make sense of everything.
And he's had this power for a long while now and really hasn't used it.
They're mad he won't.
I know. It's like if he got the power and instantly started using it, they would have flipped out. They would have flipped and been like, he's crazy. He's finally done it. He's going off the rails. But then he was like, has he even used it once? I think he used it once. One time.
The
to
Defense
make
Production
the masks,
Act.
right? So they were
to make 3M keep their masks here and bring the ones from overseas back here.
Right. And it's like,
and then
you know what? That makes sense.
I'm
not even mad.
They've been calling the guy a fascist for years. And the dude's clearly not a fascist. I mean, look, the United States has authoritarianism, in various respects,
and through the whole government. Yeah.
Yeah, in various areas, typically like our law enforcement. The craziest thing to me is in the early 2010s, the entirety of the left was mistrusting of the intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
CIA and the FBI and the NSA. You had the Edward Snowden leaks, several years back. And then something strange happened. The intelligence agencies started going up against Trump, and all of a sudden they were heroes and everyone loved them.
Yes.
That's a good point.
But here's the problem I have with people like Cenk Uygur. He's a progressive. He's a Bernie Sanders guy, right?
Yeah.
He's not really. The actual progressives have no problem calling out the intelligence agencies, calling out Russiagate. Glenn Greenwald is a good example.
I don't know.
He's The Intercept. He's the guy who released the NSA documents.
Oh, okay.
He ragged on all of the media forever, the whole time, and he hates Trump. But he knows the media is full of it. He knows the intelligence agencies are full of it. So I disagree with him on certain things, but he's being honest about the press and the intelligence agencies. Mm-hmm. But people like Cenk Uygur, who immediately come out and say Trump is a fascist and we believe all these things, the media is lying. And then the media lies about him to try and stop him from running for Congress. Yeah, they smeared him.
Yeah, I remember
all these
that.
awful things. And then he just keeps towing the line. He's like a fake progressive. He says he's progressive. He says he's for Bernie. And then he really just agrees with whatever the mainstream media says, even though we know that they're full of it most of the time.
It's because it works.
Oh, you bling bling,
Gotta
man.
be.
That's why.
I mean, look, there's no
I mean,
better.
you can see it when he talks. He loves it. He's like, I love this.
When he films himself.
You're listening to me right now. I love it.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of it's noticeable after a while. You
Well,
know?
when he
And
films himself, don't you know I am? Get me on this
when
plane.
he's at the airplane and he's like, can you believe they're not letting me of all people on this plane? It's like, are you seriously going there, dude? Like, get out of here. I no longer care about you.
Right.
It was already pretty slim anyway, but man.
When someone tries claiming that by giving up government authority or demanding an end to government authority that they're a fascist,
Yep.
I'm just gonna give you a look.
It's like, come
I'm
on.
gonna just look over there and
Do you know what the word fascist means?
Clearly
That's
doesn't.
the first thing I'd ask them.
Yeah.
so I mean the best example of the dude clearly not being legit is that he union busted his own company.
I know.
It's the craziest thing. You know what Shane Smith of Vice said when his employees were unionizing?
What?
He's like, hey, great, cool. Good. Wish you
That's
best of luck.
awesome. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
he was like, I'm excited for it. Sounds awesome.
That should be.
And he's I don't want to speak for him because I've never actually asked him about his political leanings, but people usually refer to him as more like a libertarian guy.
Okay.
Not like hardcore like right libertarian, but
Kind
like
of the vibe I get from him.
very, very capitalist libertarian.
Yeah.
You'd think if you took Vice, which is just cutthroat capitalist, I mean, that's the company's notorious for. I mean, they eventually got woke. You took that guy and you took Cenk Uygur and asked which one would union bust. You'd think people would be like, oh, the billionaire guy who's like got this massive company that does all these crazy clickbait documentaries.
Yeah.
Nope. Actually, he supported the union, and then they eventually unionized. And Cenk apparently yelled at some dude, threw papers on the ground, and started yelling. Fired the guy.
Seriously.
Fired the guy.
Oh man.
Claimed it was for something else.
Of course.
Yeah. This dude's a fake progressive. He's a capitalist all the way. It's the same thing we saw with Mike.com, which I talked about a couple days ago. They were, you know, they're capitalists, bless their hearts, wanted to make some money, made some far left content to manipulate these people. You know what it is, man? If you try and be honest, you got a challenge. If you don't believe the ends justify the means, and so you're having a real conversation with someone and you're unwilling to lie, that's a tough sell. Now, if you're willing to lie, you can sell anything.
Yeah, I guess.
That simple.
If you want to sell something.
Well, they do. They want to sell ads.
Yeah.
So they need those eyeballs.
So they're not being honest then.
Combine what we just talked about with all those people dancing
Yeah.
with people like Cenk Uygur. And what do you get? They find a crowd of people. They put a few people in there to start yelling things like, we love Bernie. And then everyone else says, oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. And it says, look over here, everybody. You want to fit in? Watch this. And they play the commercial and they make money. And then when their staff is like, hey, we'd like to, his staff goes, we agree with you. We'd like to unionize too. He goes, what? Not me. And throws his papers down. I'm a little biased, though, because Cenk yelled at me. I don't know if you guys
Did he really?
Yeah,
I don't know this
at
story.
Politicon.
Please tell me.
So there was this paper that came out that was totally fake news,
Okay.
arguing that there was a group called the Alternative Influence Network.
Yes, I remember this.
And they put me right in the middle of this big conspiracy crime web of all these lines connected to each other. The whole thing was fake.
That's kind of fun though.
I mean, it's insane, and it's been detrimental. It's probably the reason why my YouTube channel is blacklisted from Google.
Oh.
Because
wow, okay.
many of the people on that list immediately got blacklisted.
Ah.
The lower, lesser known personalities, the higher profile ones like Joe Rogan, they didn't touch.
Yeah.
But so this thing comes out, they put me in the middle. There's a guy named Chris Raygun. You know who he is? YouTube comedian. He does.
I don't think so.
He's a
I don't
YouTuber.
know.
He does videos with like a little toy llama, and he makes jokes, and he sometimes talks
No, I
politics.
don't.
But it's just he plays video games and he hangs out with his friends, and it's like silly stuff.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
They claimed that he had collaborated with a guy named Richard Spencer, one of the like most well-known.
Sounds familiar.
He's like the guy who coined alt-right, popularized it.
Yeah.
Very prominent
yeah.
white nationalist.
I think I can envision his face.
It's ridiculous that they would claim these guys had ever done anything together, and they
Okay.
did, and they used
And they
manipulative
ran
means.
with it.
And so this story comes out, and the Young Turks, because they hate Dave Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Rubin used to be on the Young Turks, so they hate him, and they ran a smear of him, and they used this as proof that Dave was part of a nefarious group of people. Ooh. And I saw the thumbnail, and sure enough, there's my name right in the middle.
Of course.
And I'm watching. I'm like, you gotta put my name right in the middle of the screen.
You're the ringleader?
So I sent him a message because I know Anna and Jenk, and I've been on their show a couple times, and I asked them, I was like, hey, I wonder how are things going? Just wanted to let you know, like, this is not true, and you guys were doing this thing about Dave. I don't know anything about your criticism of Dave or anything like that, but I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to leave my name out of whatever you guys are doing.
Yeah.
They ignored me. So when I was at Politicon in LA, I was up in this like media area, and I saw Jenk. He's talking to somebody, and I'm like, oh, it's Jenk. I've talked to him before. I talked to him at VidCon a couple years ago. He shook my hand. He said, how's it going, man? Good to see you again. Mm-hmm. And I saw him, and I was like, hey, Jenk, you got a quick second? I want to ask you something. He goes, no, I don't have any time, And I was like, no, this is serious, man. You guys ran a story. It was fake news, and it smeared me.
Yeah.
And then he just snapped.
Really?
He's like, what the you're talking about? You're a Trump supporter. What is this? And he just went off on me and started snapping. And I'm like, whoa, dude, what?
Oh my God.
It was the craziest thing. I was like, I didn't say anything. And then we went at it for a little bit. And I was like, why are you yelling at me? What's happening right now? And then finally, I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. He started bringing up like my criticism of Antifa. And he's like, I don't see you complaining about Trump. And I'm like, what does that have to do with people being violent in the streets? And he was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I was like, dude, all I was going to ask you is that you guys ran a hit on Dave and you put my name on it. I'm just asking you not to do that. And he goes, fine. And he points like his assistant, get his email, we'll figure it out. And I'm like, nah. So then this BBC crew filmed the whole thing.
Oh, they were in the room filming.
It was a hallway. And so the BBC crew followed him in.
Sparks fly between Tim Pool and Cenk Uygur.
I mean, barely sparks for me. The dude was just screaming at me. But the BBC guys went in, and this is what I was told. I don't know exactly what happened, but they asked. They said, hey, we filmed that whole thing, for, posterity or whatever, for, journalism. We want to make sure you have a chance to comment. And they basically said, GTFO or else. And so they came out and they went to talk to me, and they were like, we filmed the whole thing. They wouldn't give us a comment. They actually kicked us out. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Wow.
Sounds about right?
Yep.
So,
sounds about right.
Look, man, take that story. I don't know what he was yelling about. I don't know why he was mad.
Yeah.
He just snapped on me. I'd never really talked to the guy. Got triggered for something. You want to run fake news, and just take without fact checking some story.
That seems to be the mainstream media's
but they're not even mainstream.
I know. I'm generalizing.
You want to know what's
most
funny,
of the
man?
Media does that now.
You want to know what's funny, man? I'm
do.
gonna go there.
I really
I'm gonna go there. Cenk Uygur likes to brag about his viewership. I wouldn't normally say. Yeah, it's what he's doing right now on Twitter. He's like, let me see if I can find this tweet he did. He's all mad because they said, let me find this tweet. It's a story saying Joe Biden is losing the internet. Here we go. Check this out. He said, I'm so tired of MSM being oblivious to what happens on YouTube and then writing think pieces about how dominant right wing is. The Young Turks has more views than top 5 right-wing channels combined on YouTube. Democrats aren't dominant, but progressives are. All right. The Young Turks.
You're so cool, Cenk.
I know, right?
If you take
cool.
they have a network. And I think it's fair to say if you combine the views of all their network,
sure,
I think they get like 50 million views.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
He says the top 5 right-wing channels combined on YouTube, Steven Crowder gets like 40 million.
Dude, the Daily Wire gets easily 1 million.
Yeah, well, he didn't put those on there.
1 million what, though?
Then this wouldn't be true.
So 40 views in a month. So
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what the Young Turks get on Google, but let me do this.
Wait, we were talking about the governors abusing power, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
forgot
but
that
we
a long time
segue.
ago.
All right, check this out.
All right.
So the Young Turks main channel with 4.7 million viewers gets 34.344 million views. No, okay. They get about 1.3 million per day.
Watch out, Young Turks. We're coming for you.
That's right.
No, I'm not coming for
I'm just
anybody.
kidding.
No.
But if you want to come out and complain and smack talk and talk about how big you are when it's not even true, that you're the biggest.
It's like, come on.
So they have a network. I think it's fair to point out. If you combine all their channels, they probably get many more millions. But they got 4.7 million subscribers on their channel, and they're getting 34 million. Let's see if I can pull up Steven Crowder.
I'd be curious about the Daily Wire too, then, in that context, as like a combined.
Crowder's cool. I started following him, I don't know, a month ago, and he's a funny dude.
He is a funny dude.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Funny YouTube. Wow, this takes a really long time because of here Here we go. Steven Crowder's got 25.865 with 4.4 million.
So he's almost got them by himself.
He's down about a third or so.
I know,
That's
but
fine.
by himself.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I've got 600,000 subs, not 4.7 million.
Yeah.
And I get 28 million views on my Timcast news channel.
That's because you know why that is? Quality right there.
I don't know or
quality.
care.
This guy, quality.
You're-
That's
so-
all right. I'll say it.
I look at
got
all the
it.
channels we have.
Correct.
So I've got 4 channels. 3 of them are me hosting content by myself.
Whoa! You're bordering a line of talking about how many viewers you got.
I'm totally gonna do it. I said I'm gonna go there
Yeah, man.
All right, go for it.
because I want to make a point.
I know. I'm just poking at you.
This is why you don't go around bragging about how big your viewership is,
Yeah.
because the Young Turks puts up like 15 videos per day on their channel, and they get 34 million. I put 5 videos, a third of the videos, and I get 66% of the views they get. So hey, if I doubled up, put 5 more videos up, then I'd be getting more than them with only 2/3 of the content. Better yet, I put up a total of 6 videos per day. If you include my main channel, I'm getting like 42 million views per month. So I'm getting more than them with less than half of the amount of content produced.
Quality.
Yeah.
I don't care about the reason. I'm not going to go around bringing this up being like, Tim Pool gets all these views. Get me on this airplane.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
You don't record
No, you
yourself
wouldn't.
yelling at airplane staff. So
Oh man.
Clearly, it's gone to his head. The dude runs a business. It's successful enough. He doesn't want his staff to unionize. He's pretending he's progressive. I think it's funny when they're like, Tim Pool pretends to be on the left. I'm like, I don't care what you think of me. I handle my life the way I handle my life. If you got a problem with someone pretending to be on the left, go talk to the dude who just union busted his own company.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we somehow got off of
Yeah.
the governor's.
Yeah, I heard about that union busting thing before I saw that airplane video, and I was like, "That is ridiculous." That's
And the
what
airplane video's
Walmart's
old.
trying to do to their employees, and it's like, man, this is the worst. Like unions are good.
They tried claiming it was a smear campaign from his Democratic opponent to make him look bad during the campaign or something like that.
Really?
Something like that.
Was it like 8 years old?
Yeah. Whatever.
No, the union busting.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like
video's old.
the people coming out and smearing him were like tied to his opponent or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, probably. That's the Democratic Party.
It
Sounds about
happened,
right.
right?
I mean, that's politics in general. Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Tell me again about how you're the outside anti-establishment character who's just parroting everything they say.
Yeah.
You know what, man? There's a media establishment that he tries to be a part of. That's what's really like annoying about it. He goes around bragging about his viewership. You know what he's doing? He's going to the media and being like, "Can I be in your club?
Yeah.
I get a bunch of views too. Why won't you write about me?"
Yeah.
It's like
You're so right. That's true.
that's what he's doing.
So cringy.
It's funny.
You know, man.
Honestly,
I
it's
feel bad.
I got some advice. I got some advice for everybody when it comes to YouTube,
okay.
when it comes to podcasting. Just don't just stop pointing at other people.
Yeah.
And start doing your thing.
Yes.
You know how many people
do your own thing.
You know how many
I love
people
that.
try to get me in drama with other people? I get emails all the time. They're like, "Dude, did you see this guy?" I'm like, "I don't care."
Don't
It's
care.
spilling on me. People are hitting me up like, "Yo, Tim just did this, and I am so upset." I'm just like, keep moving.
Delete.
Boop, boop, boop. No, I won't delete it.
Look at
But,
it.
you
I'm
know,
not the
just,
person
I just
for ya.
that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If
not what I'm on
you
there
want
for.
if you want reality TV, you got to get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not going to be here. I mean, actually, TimcastIRL is literally the more personal, like telling
This is
stories.
reality,
and-
baby.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
this is.
Hey,
so you're
welcome
kind of
to
there.
our reality.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I'm, there's a ton of people who like make videos about me and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've had a ton of people try to get me to do live shows and debates and stuff, talk about my family or whatever. And I'm like, why is it relevant to anyone else's life?
Right. It's not.
It wouldn't fulfill me either. If I had 2 choices, quit or do reality TV, I'd be like, I'm going to the woods, man. Build a little hut.
Yeah.
Mind my own business.
Go whittle some sticks.
That is
So,
correct.
but here's the advice. Here's the advice. Like I'm adding to what I said before. Focus on yourself. You're not going to succeed crossing your fingers that someone else is going to interview you, that someone else is going to debate you.
Yep.
You can't send a nasty message to someone hoping that that's going to get you attention. Some people take the bait. It's not worth it. If you want to succeed, the secret is a combination of, first, hard work. Second, you got to figure it out. You got to have that knowledge. You got to find that opportunity. And lastly, a little bit of luck.
Yep.
Right place, right time, right move. But I like to discount the luck thing.
It does. Well, at the same time, though, I am the perfect example of luck. I happen to know somebody.
That's not luck.
It's not?
That's what I was going to say. It's not luck.
How is that not luck? I mean, I have known you for a long time.
Exactly. It's not luck.
Not like, yeah, but you could have hit up a couple
You
of
could have said
people,
no.
I'm sure. I could have said no, yeah.
You could have
but
rejected
how
it.
could I not?
Right.
Like,
Chance.
I love this. I love you guys.
It's the best.
Chance favors the prepared.
Yeah, okay.
The luck that you encounter is a result of the decisions you made.
Yeah, is it preparedness? Is it like...
It's preparedness.
Yeah, it's like getting yourself, knowledgeable about things.
I mean...
Also helps a lot. Yeah, I guess.
We've known each other for a long time. We tried doing a show before. I wanted to do this van thing. It didn't work out so much.
Yeah.
I hit you up instead, and you were available, and you said, let's do it.
Yep.
But we had tried before, so I wouldn't call it luck.
I am pretty lucky, though. I have had
It's
a blessed life, man.
I disagree.
Dude, my life, I'm a lucky person. I love it. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had, and yeah, it's good. I feel lucky to be here, and nothing you say can change that.
Well,
You look at the comments about you, and people are like, "Oh, at first I didn't know I felt about Soy Jesus. Now
Okay.
I'm seeing like he's actually Soy Chad or whatever." Or they're like, he just went full MAGA. The fact is,
Oh man.
first comes hard work
Yeah.
above everything else. Second is the knowledge, the ability to do something.
Okay.
So you have clearly articulated thoughts on a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
You're confident on camera. You're able to speak English well. I'll tell you what, man, whether you might not recognize it because you're like, this is easy, I'm just talking. No, I've done interviews with people, and it's like they stop talking immediately, they can't do it.
Yeah. All right.
So it really is
I've seen
about,
it.
it's a combination of factors. Ultimately, though, I think it's hard work. Luck is real. And the way I would describe luck is just like sometimes opportunity comes along for some people.
Yeah.
But more importantly, luck is a fraction of success.
It's true. I will admit that. Yeah.
Right place, right time, sure.
Good point.
But I'll put it this way.
You also got to commit. You got to do the work.
Let's put it this way.
Go ahead.
You go to a 7-Eleven and you find $1 in your pocket. And you're like, oh man, I got an extra $1. And the clerk looks you in the eye and says, hey buddy, you should buy this lottery ticket. And you go, nah, and you walk away. And that lottery ticket was a winning number. You had the money. You were prepared. You were given the opportunity. You rejected it. It's not luck that you chose not to take it. Maybe you're happy with the $1. Maybe you would have chosen to buy and said, wow, I'm so lucky. Well, tons of people have thrown away lotto tickets only for someone to find it later and be like, it's a winner. And then they try and get it back like, no, it was mine. So I'll tell you what, my advice, you want to do a show, you want to do a podcast, just start doing it.
Yep.
Seriously. Everybody's like, man, I can't.
Your own thing.
You want to know how many times I've gotten messages from people asking me to connect them with Joe Rogan?
Yep.
Dude, no way. That is the most inappropriate thing ever. You think I'm going to message that guy and be like, yo, this guy randomly texted me and said he wants it?
Hey, this random person just hit me up and wants to get to know you,
Oh,
Joe.
yeah, that'll work.
Sure.
good, yeah.
I try to be nice.
By the way, next time you talk to him, put in a good word, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
I try to be nice, and I'm like, look, man, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'll tell you what. If you actually got somebody, I don't know what Joe's like reaction would be to somebody messaging him like, here's a random person you should interview.
Yeah.
But I would imagine many people, you would hurt your chances of ever doing anything with that show by asking a random person to like, there are some things that make sense and there are some things that don't. For me, it was 8 years ago. No, it was 9 years ago. Some people were tweeting at Joe to have me on the show, and then Joe responded. That's about it. And then he canceled on me after I flew to LA.
Yeah.
And then the next year did the same thing. And then a few years later, he apologized.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
But then you were on the show, and it was an awesome show.
And it was all accidental.
Oh.
It was, I did a segment I recorded a segment about what happened with him and Jack Dorsey. And I kind of broke down a bunch of the things that I thought were wrong with it. And I said, I think we're slightly better off for him having done the interview, but I don't think we got anything really, out of it.
Yeah.
And he copyright claimed it automatically. And so I'm looking at my YouTube and it's like copyright claim from this company. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I look and I'm like, wait, Joe, because I had a screenshot of the podcast.
Oh.
So I DM'd him because he started following me after he was like, yo, I'm sorry about, canceling you before. And then I was like, could you release this? Because this is like you taking my ad money.
Yeah.
And he was like, sorry about that. It's automatic. It happens.
I want to add one thing to our conversation we were just having about that opportunity. When that teller comes to you and says, I mean, obviously I'm just using your example. It says, hey, this is a winning lotto ticket. It's only $1. But you should take this opportunity. When that opportunity comes along, like when Tim hit me up and said, hey, you want to do this show? I didn't hesitate. I said, absolutely, I do. I want to do that. That sounds awesome.
You knew what you.
And I took the ticket, and I won. And that's really the key. It's like, is it luck or is it just finding the right opportunity? And that those opportunities present themselves when you do the research, when you are knowledgeable and you are doing the work. When you start your podcast and you're just continuing doing it, those opportunities just start appearing.
But here's the important point, man. Me hitting you up wasn't a lotto ticket. You've done tons of camera work. You had a career on camera.
It's obviously much more than a lotto ticket.
Yeah, you're
the lotto ticket. It really, I don't even like that example. I was just using your example.
Right.
Because it involves gambling. That's not really part of it.
If I needed to get like my deck fixed and I called a carpenter I knew, it's not luck. It's like, I know a carpenter. Hey, I need someone to fix this. This wood broke.
I'm right here.
Yeah, so man. I'm like, I need somebody who's comfortable, confident on camera, like knows games and pop culture stuff.
Now, that's not a joke about the soy Jesus thing. I am actually a carpenter.
Yes. Gosh, it's true.
Well, there you go.
I love it.
So here's what we should do, because we were actually talking about government overreach.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just went off on the Young Turks.
And he's talking about liberating
I hate doing this. I got to be honest. I really don't like talking about, say, like the Young Turks or whatever, because, it's like I mentioned, he brags about his viewership and how important he is. Like, man, it's a bad look. It's funny. It's like, this is not a good look for you, man.
Yeah.
But I really don't like doing content about people that don't matter. And it's not like he matters in his own right to his audience and to his business and all that, but he's not in politics. He tried. When he did, he mattered. Will this famous, personality win? He didn't.
Okay.
Now he's not doing anything. So it's not that important. I use him only in this reference because he's an example of a high-profile progressive saying impeach Trump.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I begrudgingly mention, this as there's just some people who create what I would call like lower brow content, which is exactly what I just did, which is why I'm like regretting having done it.
I tried warning you.
I know, but I felt it's kind of like it's been stewing for a while when you have these small channels that are bottom feeders. And what they do is they just create shock content about low tier. Like, what's funny, man? People who make videos about me, it's the funniest thing ever because nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
I know I've got a bunch of subscribers. I know there's people watching. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but it's like, if you went to any major corporation, how about this? Go look at the top podcasts on Apple. I'm not there.
Yeah.
Not there at all. You know who is? Like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, Rachel Maddow.
Rogan.
Joe Rogan, of course, he's number one.
Yeah.
If you go to anybody in powerful media, they're going to be like, Tim who? And then you might show them something like, I think I've heard of that guy.
I think you'd be surprised.
No, I think you'd be surprised.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So when people make content about me, it's like, not only am I one of like the weakest opinion people on YouTube, nobody cares.
Yes, but it's quality though.
Quality milk toast opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best
All right.
milk toast opinion.
Well, let's do this. Let's actually jump back to our government overreach conversation, and then after this we'll jump to super chats.
Okay.
So, oh man, this one really bugged me. The New York Post: more than 1,500 NYC inmates have been released during the coronavirus crisis.
Yeah, I don't get this.
It's from a week ago. Well, it makes sense. All right. You got a bunch of people in closed quarters. They can't go anywhere. They're getting sick. Maybe it makes sense to put them under house arrest. I mean, not only that, but house arrest makes more sense for everything, to be honest.
Well, I did read that it's like blue collar / like nonviolent,
right?
That kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily agreeing with this, but it isn't necessarily worse than it seems. Because this is a scary. Like, you never know. It's like 1,500 like criminals are out there.
Like, there was one story about a murderer who got released and then went and murdered somebody.
Yep.
You saw that one?
Day.
Yeah, the next day.
Well, there you go.
Bro, let me tell you a story. I took a community college course for about a month on criminal justice when I was 18.
Okay.
First, I'll explain this. The secret to life. You don't need a high school diploma to go to college. You can go to a community college once you turn 18.
Okay.
And you take one course for however cheap it is, and then you put down some college on all your applications.
Yep.
Some college.
Yeah, I'm a high school dropout. That's the loophole. But anyway, I chose some classes I thought were fun. Theater acting.
Okay.
And I did a criminal justice class, and we learned about this murderer. There's something called the exclusionary rule. What did Ben Shapiro call it? The fruit of the
fruit of the poisonous tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the police acquire evidence by violating your rights, that evidence can't be used in court.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome rule. Well, there was a story about a guy who had like murdered a bunch of people, and he gets pulled over. The cops illegally search his vehicle because they knew the cop knew he was a suspect for these murders. So he stops the guy, and then he illegally detains him and searches the vehicle. Boom, finds hard evidence like blood or something.
Okay.
So they arrest him. The DA's like, we got him. And then once they get ready to gear up, his lawyer says, what was the reason for the stop? And lo and behold, the cop said, oh, I don't know, he was a suspect. And the DA's like, no.
Like, why?
That's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Yeah.
You can't just stop random person because
just because you think.
Dude got released. And you know what he did? Killed somebody the next day.
Did they get him
Well,
then?
so this is anecdotal and possibly apocryphal.
Oh my gosh.
But like almost immediately he kills again. And the craziest thing was, and this is a story I was being told by the teacher, so I don't know how true it is. Maybe you could look it up. Apparently, they find a dead body outside of his apartment, like just in plain sight.
What?
And so they go to him, and he's like, "Oh, I did it, yeah." And they were like, "What?" Why? And he goes like, "They're like, why didn't you try and get away with it?" He's like, "Oh, you caught me already."
Oh my gosh.
It's something like that.
What?
That's
Now,
insane.
It's been
Gosh,
like
this is
been
nuts.
16 years, I think.
Okay. How long ago was that? That was 16 years ago?
No. Since I was told that story.
Since you
So
were told.
It may have been in the
Okay.
80s or something.
Jeez,
So a long
dude.
time
But
ago.
the point of the story was to explain that even though we recognize how you can lose, and some people can get hurt, the Constitution's the Constitution.
Okay.
Police cannot violate this. So going back to the inmates being released, right?
Yeah.
I do think it from a civil liberties perspective, it makes sense. I do not think the state has a right to lock you in a box full of sick people. If you want to talk about,
How did it get in there in the first place? I mean,
a guard,
you're right.
visitors,
They go home, come back
Yeah.
in, visitors, yeah.
and now you got these people locked in these tiny rooms.
Yeah.
This actually goes into the governor's abuse of power, because there have been numerous studies, even studies out of China, showing that people outside are substantially less likely to catch COVID.
Interesting.
It's in your home, in your office, in jail.
Interesting.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, like, we're in this room. It's not that big.
Right.
So if you like coughed, you're going to splatter the wall with all that COVID stuff. And then I might walk by and like accidentally put my hand up or something, or might lean on it to tie my shoe, or boom, there it is. You're outside and you cough, it goes in the grass. I walk 20 feet in the other direction, not even think twice.
Yeah.
So that's why people have been saying these lockdowns need to be lifted. The same is true for a lot of criminals. House arrest makes sense. If they're doing nonviolent offenders, maybe like drug offenses or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That makes sense to me.
But I think the bigger picture here, what I'm trying to bring up is ultimately, it looks like a general breakdown in social order.
Yeah.
It's not about whether or not the prisoners should or shouldn't be released. It's about the fact they are being released. Whatever your argument might be. It's about the fact we got this story, NYC nurse who beat coronavirus, pummeled, robbed by a group of thugs. So in New York City, you get a nurse, front line on the COVID, gets beat up and mugged, saved by random bystanders.
Oh, she was saved by random bystanders? This is awesome.
That's great.
But not
Hear
cops.
that.
Then you get this.
Of course not.
Oh, no.
Video appears to show NYPD seizing young boy for selling candy in the subway.
Oh, look how sad this dude looks. He's like, "Are you kidding me, man?"
What are the videos we get? Now it's possible that we're not hearing about the good things the cops do, like helping, Graham across the street and stuff like that.
There's definitely good cops out there. I know a few myself, it's like they exist.
But I'm not talking right now about the percentage of good cops versus bad cops.
Okay.
I'm talking about a breakdown in social order.
Yeah.
We get videos of cops arresting 12-year-old kids or detaining them or whatever. We get stories about a nurse being beaten by random muggers, no cop in sight. Now, they eventually did arrest some of these guys, so I don't want to act like the cops have done literally nothing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to point out that if we're going to start letting people out of jail, if Philadelphia says we're not going to be arresting people anymore.
They did announce that. That's true.
They did.
A while ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They're like, we're going to postpone it.
California?
Mm-hmm.
Was it California they did it?
Yeah.
First?
And they're releasing
like
inmates all over the place.
They're setting the precedence.
Yeah.
People that see, that's what I was talking about, robberies in New York going up. It's if you announce these things, if you tell everyone no one's going to be there, the people that are interested in those things are like, yep, now I'm going to go do it.
Exactly.
This is the perfect time for me to go out and do this.
That's
Don't know
what
why they announced it.
That's the point I have for this, right? It's kind of it seems like there's some stories that look like government overreach, 12-year-old kid getting detained, right? But I think the reality is with a bunch of cops being sick, a bunch of cops not wanting to get COVID, so they're kind of being distant.
Mm-hmm.
You got commercial burglaries are up 75%. You got 1,500 in New York, 1,500 people being released from jail. This nurse is getting beat up. Kids are getting stopped. What is the message being sent to bad people in New York City? You've got a governor telling you you can't go to the gardening section. Who cares? It's snowing anyway. But then they'll stop this 12-year-old kid. They'll tell you in Philadelphia, we're not going to arrest someone for burglary or for auto theft.
Right. We'll give them a ticket for them to be arrested at a later date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'll work out great.
Nice.
Yeah. So you know what ends up happening when they do this. I'm not going to say I have any stats to cite, but when one jurisdiction loses control, people outside come in. So if Philadelphia says, we're going to give you a ticket, you come back later, some dude in Baltimore is like, you want to take a hop over to Philly?
Yeah,
because they're not going to arrest us.
Break into some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they'll give us tickets, but we'll never go to Philly again.
Yeah.
So we simultaneously have, it's really amazing about the pandemic. We're getting like government overreach in some places and like government underreach, I guess, in other places.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is
like
going on?
It was that meme I was mentioning, the political compass, where every faction got something they wanted.
Yep.
It's like the authoritarian left is like the corporations are dying. The libertarian left is like I can't remember exactly what everyone wanted, but you've got borders tightening up for the authoritarian right. The libertarian right is saying the government's spazzing out. Everybody gets something they want.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like there was someone sitting in a park by themselves and they got a ticket. Like the guy running on the beach. It's just like one person. I mean, I get it. You got to set the precedent, so if one person goes, then 5 people go, then 100 people go. And it's like, I don't like it.
But we just heard that you are substantially less likely to contract this outside.
Exactly.
So they're forcing people inside where they're more likely to get sick. That's why authoritarianism doesn't work.
It doesn't.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're smarter than everybody else.
I don't see the problem with opening up anyway. Everybody's washing their hands. No one's shaking hands. Everyone's wearing a mask. Like, what's really going to change? Like,
right.
Why wouldn't we just go back to work? Like, open things up, wear a mask, wash your hands, don't shake anybody's hand, stay away from each other. Like, we can do this.
Isn't it
2020? We've been doing this for a while. I'm pretty sure we can handle it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the approval rating for Donald Trump if he wasn't a potty mouth?
Yeah.
Look. I know a lot of people are like, Tim, who cares? He's a potty mouth. I agree. I'm an adult and I'm just like, whatever. He does have the media against him, but if you took his policies and you changed his attitude,
his environmental policies are terrible.
But no one cares.
I do.
I know. I agree.
I think they're terrible.
I agree.
That's like
totally.
the worst part about him.
Yeah, he's pulled back tons of regulations for environmental protections.
Yeah, it's really bad.
But here's my question to you. Have the Democrats brought that up at all?
Not in the slightest.
No, they haven't.
Nobody seems to be talking about it.
Right.
It's weird, It's like, why not?
If you came to me and told me that the Democrats were actually working secretly for Trump's reelection, I'd believe it.
Yeah, I would too.
Totally believe it. Look, they try to impeach.
Right.
They try to impeach the guy, and he raises $100-something million. His approval rating skyrockets.
Yeah,
dude.
It's like they're trying again. Like Cenk Uygur is saying Trump should be impeached again. It's like, don't you?
Aren't they already trying again?
Do you remember what happened last time you did this?
Yeah.
Why would you? The dude's like inadvertently being. I guess I just say Hanlon's razor.
Yeah.
Never attribute to malice that which can be explained by incompetence. These people are so dumb.
Oh man.
But in terms of what I was just saying before, like you've got the Democrats, and this is one thing I've brought up all the time. People say like, Tim, why do you always back on the Democrats? It's like, can you tell me one thing that they've proposed recently?
Orange man bad.
That's right.
That's all I can think.
Now, of course,
that's it.
There are some policies they've proposed, and it's just not the leadership.
Well, Bernie,
yeah, right.
I could probably name some things that Bernie has said, but thinking about what Biden says, he says Obama's name a couple times, says orange man bad a few more times, says and that thing a few times.
It really is. No, but
then the cycle repeats.
He says that thing.
That the thing. The thing.
But he's been getting worse, man.
I know, man.
I
can't believe it.
I don't want to deviate too much.
No, sorry.
I think we can kind of wrap up this segment, jump over to Super Chats. But the point I'm trying to make is, if we got these cities, acting like they have no ability now to police properly, that they can't arrest people because they don't have the manpower.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Why are we seeing police then arrest dudes jogging?
Yeah,
or paddleboarding.
Or attempt to.
Right. Why are we seeing all of this at a time where they're telling us they don't have the ability to do it? Why are they locking down?
Yeah.
Telling us to stay in our homes. We can't go out. We got to sacrifice. And then we hear stories about nurses getting pummeled. We hear stories about people being released from jail.
You know, I do have to say, like, sure, it sounds easy to me to open back up, everyone wear a mask, wash your hands, but I lived in New York for a long time, and the New York subway system is packed tight. And New York, it has millions of people going through that every day. So if you took the subway system, sometimes you're shoulder to shoulder. So it doesn't matter. You're wearing a mask. You're still sweating. The summertime, it gets hot in there. It's gross sometimes. And it's like, that's a petri dish just waiting to happen. You know?
I see what you're saying, Adam. In your call for reopening the government, you're saying we should purge New York and let them all fight themselves.
Whoa. You said that.
No, I didn't.
Those are your words.
Well, if you're saying
don't twist
we
what
should
I'm
open
saying.
up.
No, I like to look at all sides of the coin. That's
Nobody
what I'm
wants
doing.
to say the truth. And the truth is, we cannot have an economy shut down permanently, and we cannot open up in a population dense area where people will die. Guess what? Pick one. You have to.
Yeah.
You can't have both.
It's you're right. That's what we were talking about a month ago. Like, we just have, which one is it? It's people are going to die. Which way kills less people?
Yeah.
That's the only choice we have, because people will die.
Dr. Oz got slammed because he said we should reopen the schools, or he said something like some people would want to open up the schools because we're looking at a 2 to 3% mortality. I think some people would be willing to accept that. So that's the gist of what he said, and he got torn apart. He apologized for it. And I think maybe he said it a little callously.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of people trying to pretend like the world is a bunch of foofy marshmallows and candy canes. The reality is, guess what? People are going to die.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Nothing will stop it.
We're animals. We're susceptible to this stuff. And the earth is, we have to deal with what happens on earth, and that's it. It's like, and that's the thing. We have to deal with it and move forward, not dwell and yell at people and blame. God,
it's like
can't stand that.
Hard times, strong men, yada yada, man.
Mm-hmm.
You've got people unwilling to accept reality. It's actually perfectly in line with the healthcare as a human right crowd.
Yeah.
Would I personally prefer everybody to have access to healthcare? Oh, you betcha.
Of course.
And then some.
Yeah.
I'd love
why
if
not?
you ever see Elysium?
Yeah, it's
where
great.
They got those beds you lay in and it cures every disease you
Yeah.
have.
Oh.
Cures your cancer.
Yeah. Oh, there's something wrong with you. You're clear now.
Oh, I'd love to give those to everybody. Guess what? They don't exist.
I know.
So in this movie, they try to make it seem like the rich people just don't want to share for no reason. And all the rich people are in space and they speak French and all the poor people speak Spanish. For real, it's funny. Yeah.
That's a good,
stupid movie.
That's true.
Okay.
But like, this is how they view the world. Like, there's a magic wand that will cure you and they just won't let you have it.
Yeah.
And that's what they tweet about.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like they feel like they're in Elysium. That like somewhere out there's this magical
cure everyone can just
cure
have.
that the rich people have, that they can just pop the pill and be fine.
It's because they don't want to accept that people die and we are not gods. We can't stop it.
Yeah, people die.
There was a story about, I think it was Louisiana. Some kid had a genetic disease.
Okay.
They said the cure was $4 million.
Yeah.
And so the family demanded the state pay for it. And the state was like, we can't $4 million for this. And they demanded the state pay for it. I try explaining this to a lot of these people when they don't want to hear the truth. I'm like, you understand that there's no cure for some diseases, right?
Okay.
If a company right now invented an extremely risky and expensive treatment to cure, say, like, let's say we could definitively cure leukemia, boom, snap of the fingers. And they would only and they had to do all of this work, build a new machine called the Leukemerator. And it was made of like ridiculous parts. It was built by, specialists, and it cost $100 million to build.
Mm-hmm. With materials mined from the moon, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And then they were like, everybody should have it. It's a human right. No, I'm sorry. If you can afford to operate the machine.
By the way, it costs $4 million to operate the machine.
Yeah, pull the trigger one time to cure leukemia, $4 million.
Yeah.
So we're going to get it to as many people as we can, but it's not a right.
Right.
It's a technology the same as anything else.
Yeah, and the whole health thing kind of bugs me too, because there's so much health care that people don't deal with. Like brushing your teeth, getting enough sleep, eating enough food, getting the correct amount of nutrients from that food, I mean, all of these things, exercising, getting up and walking every day. It's like there's plenty of people that don't follow these things, and a lot of those people are the ones going, why not free healthcare for everybody?
Yep.
I'm sick. Why should I have to pay for this? Well, it's like, you're also not very healthy.
Right. It's
that
healthcare
kinda bugs me.
healthcare isn't just the doctor giving you a pill to swallow.
Yeah.
It's eating the right food. It's exercising.
Exactly.
They don't want to do
Taking
it.
care of yourself.
They don't want to do it.
Responsibility.
Yeah,
So
that's
then
part of it.
what happens when it comes to the government? What happens when it comes to the coronavirus? For one, they want the government to do everything.
Yep.
You do it. Just tell me what to do. And then they assume that there's a magic switch that makes everything all better. That, so it's funny. There are some people that are just the fakest. Like, what's that? Rubin, Jennifer, or whatever?
Jennifer Rubin.
Yeah.
She's supposedly conservative.
She's not.
Camera.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You got a camera. You got to use it.
Here, I have to look at the camera. Yeah, Jennifer Rubin. She's supposed to be the conservative, and she's not even.
I mean,
close.
I don't. She can tweet whatever she wants.
That's
like
true.
she can call herself whatever she wants. But she tweeted like the Trump death toll or something.
The Trump.
And it was just like, it was stats about like if we closed down a week earlier, how many people would have died versus 2 weeks later. And it's like, yes, it's all Trump's fault. Always Trump's fault. You are absolved of all responsibility. You don't exist.
Except, of course, when he did close it down, you were the person going, why is he doing this?
Yes.
Xenophobe.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wait, what? But now you're saying now there's a list of death toll blaming him?
Yep.
It's
that's how
just
it works.
so I think you have these people who believe that they're deserving of everything, that there's a magic wand to cure all their problems, and you get people like her who kind of inflame and exacerbate that mentality.
Yep.
Because if a person came up, let's say a person walked into this room right now and said, I think all pizza should be free. And then all three of
pizza?
all pizza should be free. Ooh. And then all three of us immediately said, that's not possible. Who's going to get the wheat? Who's going to make the cheese?
Whoa. I don't know if that'd be my answer. Free pizza sounds pretty good.
It does sound pretty good.
You got something there.
Free
I think.
pizza, man.
Yeah.
I love pizza, man.
So who's going to make the dough?
I'm gonna
It's a
plant
good.
the wheat.
Who's gonna make-
You got me. You got me there, man. You got me
So
there.
these people live in a world where they think, it's like what we were talking about yesterday. The bridge is just there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you go to New York and there's a bridge just there for you to use for free.
Yeah.
You don't got to pay anything for it. You just walk right across it.
Yeah. Well, some of the bridges for free.
To walk across?
Oh, to walk across. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
walk.
they're-
They're free to walk across.
Well, the tunnels aren't free.
Right.
Well, I guess like the George Washington.
yeah.
And,
That one,
you know.
Only
It's-
from the Jersey side.
If you're leaving New York.
Yeah, if you're leaving, you're good.
No. If you're leaving, you're good. If
Yeah.
you're coming in, you got to pay.
Yeah.
You know why they do that? Keeps poor people out.
Seriously?
So
Heck.
Is that a thing? Or are you just kind of throwing that out
this
there?
is the like, I guess I don't want to say urban legend, but like common claim from people in big cities.
Okay.
It always costs money to come in. It's always free to leave. They charge you to come in. It's not so much to keep the poor people out necessarily, but it's to reduce congestion and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, the poor people
That's
can't
the
pay the
effect.
$5 to
Yeah.
drive into the city. They'll take a
Dang.
bus for $2 or something.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? Like the music guy out in the street always sell it for something. It's because if someone buys it,
Yeah.
they're more inclined to listen to the CD as opposed to here.
So
listen to my
listen.
CD. Yeah, sure, I'll listen to
Yeah,
it.
man.
Let's hit the nail on the head with the main point of what we're talking about here with medical issues and the coronavirus pandemic. We're going to reopen up.
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo says he wants to do it.
Yeah, we are.
Absolutely.
I think you look at Trump's plan, you look at the governor's plan. Everybody's trying their hardest to mitigate the damage.
Yep.
It doesn't help when you have partisans come out and attack Cuomo or attack Trump, and everyone tries to pass the blame. Of
Yeah.
course, Trump gets it the worst than everybody.
Yeah,
worse than anybody.
there's always those people that are just shooting guns at whoever is their target. And it
Right.
doesn't matter who the target is. There's a person out there shooting guns at everybody, basically.
Well, I'm always targeting the media for the most part, right?
True.
The way I put it is, I think de Blasio got it the worst. Like, he was encouraging people to go out in New York City into
Yeah.
March. Trump was not doing that.
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo actually rejected de Blasio's assertion they would shut down the city. He said, "Get real, we're not going to do it."
yeah.
You can criticize all three of them, but I'll tell you what. We're trying to fight through this problem.
Yep.
We know it's going to get bad. People are going to lose their lives. So I will give my respect to de Blasio. I think he's trying. I don't think he's the best guy in the world. I think he's made mistakes. But do I think he's trying? Of course. You'd be insane to think they want people to die.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Trump,
Of course.
de Blasio, Cuomo, of course they're trying. Let's chill out a little bit. Let them do their job. Whether it's a Democrat, Newsom as well, Gavin Newsom, and they've had back and forth the president too. But all I see from so many people is this. There's like two things that overlap. Trump, all these people who died, it's all Trump's fault, and this could have been solved without loss of life. That's just not true.
Neither one of those.
So
things
if
are true.
Cuomo wants to reopen things, and so does Trump, and Trump said, "Here's my plan. Here's the phase. It's up to you guys." Yeah, it's going to get worse. We're going to see waves probably. We'll see more loss of life. Nobody wants to admit it. Dr. Oz has to apologize for saying it. Guess what? Do you want to reopen schools? What are you going to do? Hide in your basement and lock the doors? It'll never go away.
Yeah.
So I don't have to tell you guys, man. It's like sometimes there's a boogeyman that's really going to come and get you, and you can't just hide.
Yeah.
I'll use one last analogy that's very esoteric.
Great.
When you're playing Magic the Gathering and you're scared your opponent has a counterspell, you can't just sit there doing nothing. You have to play through it.
That's my style. I play through them counterspells.
Now everyone's like, I have no idea what that meant.
Well, I used to see it when people would come into the hospital. They would come in with their parents, and their parent is very sick, and they would talk to them about their parent dying, and they were like, well, we had never anticipated that this would happen to our parent. Yeah, it happens to everyone.
Newsflash. People die.
Yeah.
To quote,
Weird and crazy.
To paraphrase Fight Club, on a long enough timeline, the mortality rate for everyone becomes 0.
Yeah.
Or
it's 100%.
100.
Becomes
Something like that.
no. He says the life expectancy of everyone becomes 0. It's something like that. Yeah, on a long enough timeline, guess what? People die.
Yeah.
I guess some people want to live in. You ever see the movie The Invention of Lying?
Great movie.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's for those who aren't familiar, Ricky Gervais. He lives. It's hilarious. He lives in a world where no one can lie. Movies are a dude sitting in a chair reading history, like an encyclopedia entry.
Yeah.
And one day he discovers he can lie, like an accident. He's like, whoa. And he tries to explain to people what a lie is. No one understands. But there's a scene, and look, I know it might be spoiling it for people who didn't see it, but it's a really old movie.
Yeah.
His mom's dying, and she's scared, and she's like, I don't want to be nothing. And he goes, no, it's not true. You're going to see everyone you've ever loved. You're going to be happy for all eternity. And she's like, really? And he's like, yes. And he's crying and sad, just trying to tell her whatever she needs to hear to make her feel good.
Yeah.
That's the problem we have right now, just in general. An inability to accept that life is not always going to be perfect. You are not just going to wake up one day with a magic cure and $1 million and a check from the government. It's just not working that way.
Nope.
If you want to eat good, you got to go work good. If you want to, if you want to succeed, you got to work for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta do the work.
Everybody is
you gotta
just
get out there. You gotta get up and focus on the goal that you want and make it happen.
Yeah.
Everybody's so jealous, man.
And never say no.
Jealous
and never let those people affect you. That's also huge because there's people out there that are like, oh, I tried, but then all these people hated me, so I just gave up. And it's like,
I think
you gotta not care about those people because you just said it. They're just jealous. They're angry
real jealous
because they're not doing that. They're sitting there just pointing and yelling because that's as bold as they are able to get.
It's like I imagine someone walks onto a field, has a bunch of supplies, and starts just building away, and they're building a little tree fort.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually they will have their little tree fort.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to hang out in there and, read some comic books or whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else, instead of, hammering away, is staring at them saying, it's not fair. I want that treehouse. Well, guess what, dude? If you started hammering those pieces of wood up against that tree in a month, the same amount of time, you'd have one.
Yep.
But instead they just complain about how they deserve it from someone else.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that.
You should give us your treehouse because you have it. Dude, I've had friends tell me this. It's like, here's the biggest red flag for roommates. They were like, I said, if we'll all split the electric bill. They argued to me, well, we like it, really hot, like 75, 76. And I'm like, I do not want to be that hot in my place. If you want to jack the heat up, then you pay for it. And they're like, well, actually, you make more money than us, so you should pay for most of it.
Oh.
Wow, really?
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Not even kidding. It's a true story. And I was like, nope, no chance. I'm not living with these people.
Roommate etiquette is something we can have a whole subject on.
Oh,
Seriously.
Well, let's jump to super chats.
Move forward.
There we go.
And then I think the next one we should talk about is the end of the world. The climate-driven mega drought is coming.
Oh man.
Because we can talk about that. I just watched Snowpiercer.
I guess.
You don't want to talk about it?
The end of the world just seems so repetitive now.
Oh man, it's all that's going on. Everyone keeps talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
So much weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna grab some super chats, but mind you, these super chats are now about an hour old, so I apologize. Just typically how it works, but let's read them. Before we do, I will say, hit that like button if you haven't, because it really does help, and subscribe because we do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and we have clips up every day. It's also on iTunes and Spotify and Google and all that stuff. Daniel, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Kyle Buchanan says, Tim, do you think if everyone treated YouTube like Netflix and paid for premium, they wouldn't do half of what they do? Absolutely. If every single person bought YouTube Premium, I could say whatever I want. Well, seriously. So when you get demonetized, you don't lose access to premium revenue.
Ooh.
And as premium revenue has been going up, it's not good. It's like seriously lower. It's like 20% of something, 20% of something of like standard rev.
Okay.
But yeah, you can demonetize me and it stays.
Okay.
So would I recommend people get YouTube Premium? Nah. You know why? Because you can just donate to me. For real. I guess the challenge is if YouTube really had every single viewer buy Premium, it would be Alex Jones would still be here. He'd still have his own. He'd have a channel 100%.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we don't care. People pay for it.
Yeah.
So go do something about it. Steven says, if Adam saw my soy Faroth fan art, I hope he liked it. Sorry I didn't have time to draw my male subjects fully clothed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? I did show them that, and I forgot to comment because I saw it right when we finished the show the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Why am I not wearing any clothes? So awesome. That's funny, but I do appreciate that. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Right on. I will also give a shout out right now. Make sure you follow us. So I'm at Timcast. We got at Adam Krigler.
And also
at Sour Patch Lids.
Wait, there
Boom.
we go. Oh yeah, look at that.
But if you follow Adam, you can send him story ideas.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I constantly do tweets like saying thanks and post your ideas here. It's easier to just post them on that tweet, so I can find them easier. Because a lot of times people are tweeting at me, and then those get lost. So I might see something and I go to reference it, and it gets lost in the messages. So,
but we really do, like, a lot of the segments we've done have been from your guys' suggestions sent to Adam. So make sure you
thank you for that.
Follow him at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram. All right, let's read more. Laws says, regarding China's manpower, it's a non-factor unless you land troops there. No way they have the air naval power to invade the U.S. over 3,000 miles of ocean. Japan and South Korea are great allies in that regard. Totally.
Agreed.
And a very good point. If they had a bunch of Chinese U-boats trying to go, we just like airships and wipe them out.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do have cyber capabilities. So.
Yes, that is frightening.
Daniel says, on Long Island, Suffolk County has just postponed longevity checks and is talking about lag paying us for 2 weeks' work, still have food and toilet paper. Well, at least you got that, I guess. Sir Dunyal says, hey, Tim, today I will be going outside. I'm sorry I will miss your show. We'll catch the upload of the stream, but for now, I'll be drinking a beer while cruising my board.
Woo-hoo.
Nothing changes until we change it. Much love.
Oh,
Sounds like a good time.
You see these photos coming out of L.A.?
Which ones?
Traffic jams?
No.
Nobody cares anymore. They're like, that's it. I'm out. We're done.
Seriously?
Yeah, we tried quarantine. We're done. We're bored.
Dude, I'm reaching
honestly,
that
that's
point.
not really surprising.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm
Well,
almost
you know what?
there.
It's like people don't see it. It's not in their face, so it's not something that UFOs being spun.
Wait, sorry, yeah.
I mean, priorities, right?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know what I'm saying?
I was like, Adam's talking. Let's go
Tim
to
knows
Adam.
what he's doing, though.
People want the UFO to spin.
I'm not even mad. I'm not mad. I totally understand.
First things first.
Look how fast it's going.
I forget what I was talking
Oh
about.
my
so
gosh, yeah.
We mentioned the quarantine. Nobody wants to be quarantined
That's
anymore.
true.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
hitting
surprised.
that point for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, man.
I didn't realize it was going to be so loud. I apologize for it.
Uh,
I thought it would be quieter.
I'm gonna hold this against you forever.
forever.
All right, man. Mark Taylor says, hope Lydia's doing okay. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Matthew says, Daily Mail, February 14, 2020, China appoints its top military biowarfare expert to take over secretive virus lab in Wuhan.
Ooh.
Come on. Like, these stories are stacking up. We get it, you know? Like, finally, now the mainstream media reports on it.
Mm-hmm.
Perpetual Punster says, hail Tim, Adam, and Lydia. Hey, Adam, consider putting a light over your seat so that when you take off your beanie, a holy light shines down upon you as Lydia plays some harp music.
This is such a great idea.
We actually have some
that's
ideas for silly clips and like sound bites we want to use.
Yeah.
like
Oh
sound
yeah.
effects.
We got some fun ideas.
We actually have the Greta "How dare you" sound bite, but we couldn't get it to work with the stream decks we have, so we need actually a board. But it's
God.
her going, "How dare you?
Well,
How dare you? How
you know,
dare you?"
You played Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
All right, so you know the whoop diddy, the little
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
that
yeah.
pops up when you get a nice solid hit.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want Greta's face to pop up and be like, "How dare you?"
How dare you?
It'd be great.
It's gonna require
Yeah.
some work.
And so whenever someone's
gotta make it
angry, we
happen.
press the "How dare you"
I
button.
want that.
Someone
I want
can
it.
probably message us and tell us like an easy way to do it because I've looked at soundboard stuff.
That would be
Yeah, we'll
wonderful.
see what happens.
That would be wonderful.
Bass Master says, loved seeing Elon Musk destroy CNN yesterday. Best
Yes.
birthday gift
Dude.
anyone
it was
could ask
so
for.
good.
This story was fake.
It was so
Yeah.
fake. Elon's like, here's all of the information, and
He
everyone's
had the
like,
receipts.
what?
They got a quote from the governor who was wrong and then didn't fact check it.
It was bad.
And they were like, "Why are you mad at us? We're just telling you what he said." Because you're a news outlet. You fact check things.
Yeah.
If CNN interviewed me and I said the sky is purple, would you just run it and say sky is purple, says Tim, or would you be like sky not actually purple, Tim's wrong, or I mean not run it at all?
I don't know, man.
Journalists are supposed to fact check these things.
I agree.
Yeah, CNN's not journalism.
Agreed.
Elon brought the smack down. I loved it.
He did. It was great. C. Tradewell, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Timothy E. says, Lung Pao Sicken may not have started as a bioweapon, but it became one the minute China shut down domestic travel and left international open.
I agree.
They let it happen.
They did.
Oh, what's this? Roger says, is Adam MAGA? Ooh. No, but the old saying says, if you're not a liberal by 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative by 40, you have no brain. But the thing about this...
I'm getting there.
No, I think it's that the left has gone further and further left.
Yeah, that's
it.
So
we stay where we are, and then once we're older, the young people are saying things like, there's infinite genders, and we're like, what? And they're like, you're right wing.
No, and this is funny. We did this on the show the other day where there was like a big conversation about it, but I'm not MAGA. I'm MAG. Make America greater.
There you
go.
But
that is a thing. That's what Trump supporters say it.
Well, it's not the same as MAGA, Make America Great Again.
You know what's funny?
I don't remember when we were. I mean, we're amazing. Great, America is great. I love America.
There was some website that was put together by anti-Trump activists that was something like "Make America Great" or something, thinking they were getting back at Trump. Oh no, it was "Keep America Great."
Okay.
And then Trump adopted that slogan for his re-election.
He's like, yeah, that's good.
I'm willing to bet he did it on purpose because they already sold T-shirts. Check this out. They were selling T-shirts in 2016 to counteract Make America Great Again by saying Keep America Great.
Yep.
He's a businessman.
Well, check this out. They were saying that if Donald Trump is elected, America won't be great anymore, so keep America great. Don't vote for him, right?
Uh-huh.
So they put out all this merchandise. I'm willing to bet the Trump campaign saw that, and they were like,
let's buy that for cheap.
No. Let's use the slogan. You know why? Now everyone who bought those shirts are Trump supporters.
Every resistor.
Every resistor who was trying to rag on Trump became a Trump supporter overnight.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Now they got all this weird
it's a good
cat
move.
gear.
It's a good move.
Totally.
I love it.
The Red Bike Nest says, the voice has a face.
Yes.
Hey,
yes,
Twitter
she
bud.
does.
Hey, Ben.
Wolfsbane says, hey, Adam, just wanted to follow up from Wednesday. They shadow banned Tifa from YouTube and Google when FF7 Remake was announced. It wouldn't autoplay her, but it worked for all the other characters.
What?
Was it because of her clothes? Didn't they change her clothes and made her like less revealing?
I mean, she's pretty revealing. It's kind of silly. You know what? This game is mighty bold on many fronts. There's, I need a list of things. I mean, there's from the get-go, every girl that the main character runs into wants him. They're like, whoa, hey,
Cloud,
what
right?
up? Yeah, Cloud. Everyone wants Cloud. Everybody wants Cloud, and I'm talking everybody.
Even the dudes.
Even the dudes. You get to a certain point, and there's this dude who's like, "Let's dance," and you straight up have a dance montage with him. It's crazy. I mean, I was like, okay, and then he finds a dress, puts a dress on, and the next dude is like, "Yes, I'm picking you," or at least he did in my playthrough because you can wear different dresses, I guess. And
you chose the right one, so
I guess I chose the right dress.
Very attractive. Huh?
I got style. What can I say?
Oh my gosh. That's
no,
amazing.
but it's pretty out there. So I mean, the original it's just like the original game. It's not surprising to me, but
better graphics,
insane graphics, really like blare it out there.
Word.
Yeah. Anyway,
the 1G baby. Thanks for the super chat.
Yay.
Axel says, and the Lord said, "Let there be Lydia."
Indeed.
And there she was.
Thank you, soy Jesus.
Kyle Buchanan says, "Lydia, your Twitter is amazing. Please keep being you."
Okay, I will continue doing that. Thank you.
Jeff, thanks for the super chat. Thunder Chicken says, she's a ginger. You can throw away the camera now.
Okay. Just because I have no soul. It's not my fault.
hey, you gotta use the camera though when you're saying stuff.
What?
Oh, I mean, when you're responding, if you're
Ginger.
you're gonna respond.
You're not a ginger.
I'm a ginger.
You are.
I have auburn red hair. I'm
Oh.
fake red.
Are you colorblind?
Me? No. But I mean, like,
I am.
I guess.
I am colorblind, and I can see she's got red hair.
No, it's not about having red hair. It's about, like, the freckles, pale skin, and all that.
I got
Whoa,
freckles.
whoa! Not all of them are the same.
Hashtag not all
right?
gingers, Tim.
Daywalker.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it's true. No, it's not a thing.
What?
Don't have a soul.
Not all gingers.
Yeah.
You do have a soul.
Ah.
T. Smith Jones says, hey, Tim, so Seiken Densetsu 3 is being released on Steam in 1 week. Will you be getting it? Man, I don't know. I mean, I've beaten that game like a million times. It's Secret of Mana 3.
Oh, yeah.
Or I think Secret of Mana 2.
I got the remake of Secret of Mana, and I'm really bummed about it.
It was like
they
kitty mode.
cheeseballed it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's really nostalgic. The music and everything, it's great. And I got the demo of that game actually, and it's the same. They cheeseballed it.
The remake made it so dumb easy.
Exactly.
I was like, what is this?
No. But some parts are hard.
Yeah.
You know how like you'd have to like fight and grind a little bit to level your guys up?
Yeah.
You still have to do that because the bosses are hard, but it's like everything else is just like, you're dead. You're dead. I mean, and I know the game also, but man, I wanted that. I like gritty. The first game was a little gritty, you know? It was like, I liked it.
Yeah, yep.
It's not the same.
Didactics with David Lopez says, Lydia is cute. I've known what she looked like for a while, though.
Oh, thanks.
Thomas Dulson says, big love from the UK. You three are a lighthouse in a sea of misinformation. Please cover police overreach in UK lockdown. Oh, I love that. We did talk about it a bit.
Yeah, but we can dig into it if people are
We
asking
talked about
for
it in the US,
There's a lot
right?
going on.
We did talk about it in the UK.
We brought it up a little bit.
That tweet where they're like, you think you can go into a field and have a picnic? We're going to come out of the shadows.
Oh, my gosh.
What was that all about?
I don't know. They kicked the dude's door in just because he was like had the TV loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on.
There was one guy who this one's going viral, where he went and filmed a bunch of mosques that were still open or something.
Okay.
And so the cops showed up to his house and they were like, "We'll arrest you if you do this again." And he's like, "What about them breaking social, quarantine or whatever to go to go worship?" It's interesting because I think a lot of people focus on the Muslim aspect of it, and I'm like, it's funny that in the U.S. they're actually smearing and slamming Christians for worshiping on Easter.
Yeah.
And no one says anything about the mosques in the UK. It's like they just don't care.
Yeah.
Yet they will rag on Tommy. So Tommy Robinson, I don't know if you know who he is. He's like,
no, I don't.
I wouldn't know how to describe him, but he's very, very like, I try to be careful because it's a very contentious issue with this guy.
Okay.
He's an activist focused on Islamic extremism.
Yeah.
But if you ask the left, they'll say he's like a white nationalist or white supremacist or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah, which I think is absurd. I think he's definitely hyper-focused on Islam.
Right, that's his topic.
Right. Yeah. So they will go after this guy relentlessly. They'll smear him all day and night. And then when someone goes out and films that these mosques are still worshiping, nobody over here will say anything about it.
They pick and choose their battles.
I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, man.
In the United
Whatever's
States,
convenient.
you got a right to worship.
I agree.
Be it a mosque, be it a synagogue, be it a Buddhist temple, Hare Krishna. I don't care. You got a right to do it.
Yep.
Now, someone brought up a good point. You got a responsibility to
I agree with
your
that
community.
Also. Yeah.
Where we draw those lines, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, but these people were in their cars driving through, and like the pastor was coming out and giving each person like a.
Well, that was the one circumstance where.
Well, then the cops were giving them tickets.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, well, how could have they had done it any better? Like, they were legitly quarantined in their cars.
If you tell me that there was a like contentious, debated situation between a cop and a protester, or a minority who got killed by a cop or something, I'll be like, I typically don't just trust the government, especially not cops. But you got to give me evidence if you want me to come out and wave that sign around.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what: if the government decrees I can't worship, I have no interest in going and worshiping. But if you want to see me protest side by side with someone of any faith.
Yeah, tell me I can't praise the sun. Go ahead, tell me.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I'll be out there so fast praising that sun.
If they came out and said, you can't celebrate on Easter, I'll be like, I don't celebrate Easter, but I'm coming out now.
I do now.
That's right. I'm going to be standing next to these people, and I'm going to be like, get out of here. Get out. Like, you know what, man? There's very little I'd protest for.
Yeah.
But if you try and take away my right to protest,
I
will protest.
I'll protest that.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Derek, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Front hole enthusiast. Says, did Obama really tell Biden you don't need to do this, Joe? And if so, when? I think that's a rumor.
I think he did.
Can you look it up? I'm pretty sure that was widely reported, but it could just be a rumor that he. So there's a couple theories. One, that he was saying you don't have to run, you don't have to be president. The other was that you don't have to be the sacrificial lamb for the DNC.
Yeah. So he did reportedly warn Biden about 2020.
What's that source?
Oh man.
That is the Daily Beast. That is
said,
from August 2019.
He said, you don't have to do this, Joe?
You don't have to do this, Joe. You really don't. Close quote.
You want to talk about an endorsement from the president?
That is quite the endorsement.
To not do it. Could you imagine Obama being like, Joe, you don't have to do this.
You really don't.
You really don't.
He probably.
It sounds like he probably did.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. He did wait an awfully long time to endorse him.
Did you see the CNN clip where Joe Biden just went off for 20 seconds?
I did.
That made me angry.
And the guys were like,
They're just sitting there. I was like, look at their faces.
Should we stop him?
They
were thinking that.
Biden had a note card he was trying to read, looking down.
Yep.
He couldn't read it.
Yeah,
he is lost. That made me angry.
I was shocked, man.
Yeah.
It's funny when he turns around and fixes teeth.
That's fine.
It's like, yeah, the old guy, man. We're gonna laugh and be like,
teeth.
come on, man.
Yeah, but whatever.
When he misspeaks one word and we laugh because he gaffed.
That's fine.
Now they're trying to claim, but Joe Biden's always had a stutter. So when he goes, you know, that thing, you know,
he hasn't.
With the,
I was around when he was vice president.
He didn't stutter.
I remember him speaking clear sentences.
Right.
I remember that.
He's just gone.
My memory is still here, unlike some
Joe's.
people we're talking about.
Yeah, dude.
It's
My
elder
goodness.
abuse. It is elder abuse.
Yeah, I agree.
No question.
It's pretty bad.
All right, let's read some more.
All right.
Y says, wish Trump would impeach himself. Dems would stop. Yeah, exactly.
Funny joke.
Adam says, I agree with opening up, but these protests need to be done better. Standing right next to each other, sans masks, screaming slogans is just going to make things worse for us. These morons need a leader. That's true. Oh, and I think Ben Shapiro said something like that, like at least distance.
Right.
You know, in Michigan, they stayed in their cars.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
Yeah, I love that.
Perfect idea.
Honking.
Yep.
That's great.
Right on. Howard says, Lydia beheld the two supplicants, noting their rapt gaze, their bulky totems straining betwixt leather and legs. They were of low birth, one a skater, the other a peasant model. No matter, for tonight they would know a queen. That's some poetic literature.
You have your first fan fiction.
I'm speechless. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look, and you can see her speechless.
Yes.
Betwixt.
No.
That's
How
a
dare you?
good word.
That's not fair.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Rob says, I watched Hoax after you recommended it the other night. Very interesting. Keep up the good work, and thank you. Yeah, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would put it. I would say it's always important to get information from as many sources as you can.
Exactly.
And whether or not you like or
research.
don't like Alex Jones, Molyneux, or Cernovich, if you just blindly believe everything you hear without hearing what they have to say, you're not going to be in a very good position, especially if these things come up, because people are going to run circles around you because you're lacking information.
Exactly.
So I guess I would consider that a recommendation for sure. I mean, especially I'm in it and I like what I say, so check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that Amazon's gotten rid of it, you have to order the hard DVD.
Or go on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Oh, there you go. It's on YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's some silly things in it, like Stephen Molyneux does the parable. What is this? The story of the shadows in the wall. Do you know the story?
I'm not familiar with that.
It's like the people living in a cave, and all they see are the shadows on the wall from the fire.
It was a philosopher's cave.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super old.
It was a very like. I think they could have done a lot better. Like at the end of the film, they try and do the scene with like him coming out of the cave and everything. Yeah,
Meh.
I'm gonna be honest. It's a little corny.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a little.
But
cave,
I think Mike does a really good job, whether you like the guy or not, of pointing out a lot of flaws in the media and how it's like he describes it as a funhouse mirror. Not him, but someone I think maybe Ryan Holiday. That he puts a funhouse mirror up to the media and they really hate it. And that's true.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Aaron says, thanks for all the news and laughs. You got it. Nathan, another Nathan. Okay, that was Aaron. Nathan says, I think you were right. Biden may very well be a placeholder. Imagine who his VP could be. Lined to take his place shortly after the general election. Yep. I wouldn't mind another 4 years to get back on track, then switch. Jean McLeod says, glad you're feeling better, Lydia. And it is great to finally see you. Fun little story. One of my mask orders, I was paid with toilet paper, seeds, lemon Oreo cookies, and $60.
Ooh.
I got the trade of goods. I guess the trade of goods is coming back.
I think
Bartering's
so.
back,
Yeah,
baby.
Bartering's back, man.
I love
Totally.
it.
Harold says stores are bare here. Granddad almost got in a fight.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Matthew says liberate Timcast.
Yes.
Oh, I am free. Lloyd says morning, Tim. Just wondering what IRL stands for in real life. Yeah.
that's
So this is like general conversations.
Yep. You all know Tim. Now you get to see a new side of Tim.
I mean, kind of. I talk about a lot of these things as it is, but now this is going to focus more on just like our general conversations about stuff.
Yeah, we started the show actually he said there's only one rule on the show when we start the show.
I remember the rule.
We're not allowed to say Democrat and we're not allowed to say Republican.
Yeah.
Well, we threw that out the window a long time ago.
But not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
Because of
there's a
coronavirus.
pandemic going on,
Yeah.
and
Except
We did a
Waiting
good job.
circumstances.
You'll notice this, like when we talked about like the left and woke culture, we would not get into politics.
yeah, we really tried.
Then the coronavirus happened, and we're sitting here like there's nothing going on anymore. All the
well,
movies
what
are gone.
should
All
we
the
talk about?
everything's canceled.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, whatever. We end up just talking about not what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And so it ends up, I think now it's just kind of like, you know what, man, we're going to talk about like the most important thing that's happening tonight, I guess.
Yep.
Well, hey, it is what it is. Drunk Shovel says, I hope you have a canteen now that you've gotten the camera lids. You're going to be approached with much thirst.
I see that.
Spicy. Jesus says, quarantine is saving people's lives. Why would you rather people die but everyone gets their freedom? Dead people don't get anything but death. Well, first of all, it's about give me liberty or give me death.
Those are the options.
Which is an actual fact statement.
Unless it's snowing.
Right,
it's snowing.
of course.
Right.
Or there's a war.
Okay.
Or like a virus.
Or terrorism.
Yeah.
You know what? No liberty for anyone.
None
Yeah.
for anyone.
So
no more liberty.
Let me tell you what. Why would quarantine is saving people's lives? Why would I rather people die? That question misses the fact that millions of people are going without food right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I tweeted this, the first reply was, show me any picture of a food bank line. And then everybody started spamming every major city with miles-long lines of people with no food.
Yep.
So let me explain something
Just
to you.
because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah.
No one would rather anyone die. But the sad truth is, if people don't have food, they tend to die. So we need to know at what point that will be. We've been under lockdown for like a month now, or a little bit longer than a month.
Longer, I
Yeah,
think.
dude.
Longer than a month.
Yep.
Forever.
People already don't have food. They're pulling up the food bank saying, please, I need food. Okay, after about a month without food, you die.
Yes.
So I don't think these people are all at the starvation point yet, but it's getting dangerous.
Exactly.
So the question isn't, open up the government, open up the economy right now and let people get sick. No. It's how much longer can we wait before people start dying? We've already seen suicides.
Right.
So people have died.
And not only...
Let me ask you this. Quarantine is costing people's lives. They're suffering, and some people have already committed suicide. Why would you rather people die than just let them work and earn and get food?
Right.
Both of those are false.
Well, and the fact that the economy is what brings the food to the stores. So we need the wheels to start moving again, or you can't go to a store and get food anymore.
Now,
so right.
Let's talk.
That's part of it. So people are going to die without food. People are going to die from the coronavirus. But if we just hunker down and stay in our houses, everybody's going to die.
It's not going to work.
Well, the system will collapse. Riots will
The system
happen.
will collapse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I saw these stories where they're like, the farmers are dumping milk and dumping crops, and the food banks are out of food. Oh my, why don't we just send the farmers food to the food banks, right?
Seems simple.
That's what they were saying. They were actually saying, guess what? A farmer came out and said, what is a food bank going to do with an 8,000 gallon tanker of raw milk?
Right.
It's got to go to a processing plant.
Right.
Then it's got to be sent out to bottling plants, to cheese factories, to whatever.
Right. And all of those places are closed.
Right. No one's there.
Because the chain is broken.
everybody's quarantined.
Yeah.
So
That's the point.
people don't buy milk. So the processing plant doesn't buy, bottles,
Yep.
doesn't buy milk. So the dairy farmers say, dump it, I guess.
The whole machine that is our society that we live in requires people to be working and the supply lines to move and every machine to be working along those lines. So right now there's we have the essentials way out at the end, which is the grocery store and the very emergency, like the nurses and the doctors and like the sewage line runners, like everything that is working right now. But that's only going to last so long before it's too late. And then people start dying from every other reason.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, the food riots start first.
I agree.
We've
the food riots are going to happen first.
We've already had chaos ensue, as it was described by a local news outlet, when a food bank said, you've got to pre-register. And people showed up and said, no, we want food anyway. We didn't register. And so they say, in the story, chaos broke out, erupted.
It's not surprising.
And what happened? So the food banks are at like 60% availability, or I'm sorry, like 40% left. They've reached they're getting there. What happens when they run out of food?
Exactly.
And then you have miles-long cars. I'll tell you what, man. You get down to the last 20 boxes, maybe even 100 boxes, and you're going to be able to get out of their cars, run full speed, jump the fence, knock someone down, and take that box.
Yep.
No one's going to let their mother go hungry, let their son, their daughter go hungry. So, yeah, we need that economy.
I agree.
All right, but now I got to speed things up, so I apologize if we don't get to your comments.
Super
but
jump.
we're going to start. We got a lot of super chats to go through.
Man.
I know what you're about to do too, and I just want to say one of my buddies, Andrew Mason, did a super chat, and I saw you, Andrew. I don't know if you're still listening, but and we're gonna have to skip your super chat. Sorry, sorry, buddy. But I saw it and it was good.
Home Brian says, if the Chinese take over, it will be like the game Homefront. I've never played it.
Never had.
Jay Privacy says, did you guys hear that Governor Whitmer threatened on Maddow's show to extend her lockdown as a result of Wednesday's protests?
I did hear
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was like, because of this, we might have to even extend it now. Oh, you know what, man? Keep extending it. We'll keep protesting. You know, I used to tell my friends when I was little, they'd like when I was like an early teenager, they'd be like, I can't go out and skate because my parents are mad at me and I'm grounded. And I'd be like, and they'd be like, well, I'm grounded. They said I can't go out. So what will happen if you go out? I'll get grounded longer. Huh. And then let's say you get grounded longer. What would happen if you go out again? I'll get grounded for like even longer. I'm like, you don't see what I'm telling you. Like, you can just go out.
Yeah.
That was a bad influence.
Oh, you were a horrible influence.
Terrible.
Holy cow.
And then like the light bulb appeared, and they're like, I can just go out.
See you at the skate park.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, so when you get grounded again, what are they going to do? And then they took his skateboard.
Oh man.
It's your fault, Tim.
But then he like got a dummy skateboard and they took the dummy one. Like, come on, man, we know what we're doing. You can't keep us down.
Oh, Walmart board, huh?
We're not going to get to the full segment.
PSA: don't ever get a Walmart board. Get a real board.
Okay.
We're not going to get to this, but we had this story that's really funny. So in San Clemente, California, they filled a skate park with 37 tons of sand because the skateboarders
Go to the clip so they can see this.
The skateboarders are ignoring no trespassing signs. Look at these guys are doing. They just swept up the sand and they're skating on it anyway. Look at them go.
These are skaters you're
Look at
talking
that. Was it got
about.
a 50-50?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, hit the sand.
Oh man.
But
Dude.
that's cool. You
This
know,
is the
and
coolest thing
this
ever.
is happening all over the place. People are sending me different clips, there's metal ramps where they're welding like bars so you would hit the bar, and they're just
making skateboarding more cool.
Fertilizer, like this is sand sucks, but like they're putting fertilizer, they're putting dirt.
When would you ever have the opportunity to film a segment where there's sand everywhere and you draw a path and then get that tray flip over the bump with the sand all around you, land, it flies up in
Put
the
some
air?
sand on the board so you get a little sand spray
so cool.
too.
Slow-mo it so the board's flipping and the sand is spraying. They don't get it, man. When they try and stop skaters, they make it more fun.
Yeah, hello. Have you not figured it out? Skaters are gonna skate.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I'm sorry, you can't stop the skaters.
This is why
man.
I've frequently said that when like the skateboarders I know and like the pros hit me up telling me like you're right about this stuff, I'm like, when you've lost, then the left has lost skateboarders. You can't get more anti-authoritarian than this. They're anti-authority. They're like, they have disregard for authority.
They do not
like
care.
there's no, that's it. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nothing you're gonna do. They will break into your school. They will ignore all of your signs, and when you come to arrest them, they run.
Yep.
You're gonna do anything. I don't know. I don't encourage it, but hey, man. All right, let's read some more. Let's see. Kitsune says, "Good morning from Australia. Keep doing what y'all do. We will." Andrew says, "I think the reason they are calling Trump a fascist is because they have nothing else to call him. That's what they have been calling him since day one. Yeah, they're out of things to say." Boohoo right. Kitty says, "Lydia, it's great to finally see you. You're such a beautiful and smart young woman."
Why, thank you.
Justin Force says, "It's weird, but not surprising to see all the people who screamed about fascism when Trump does anything suddenly just say nothing when state governments violate the Constitution. It's as if it's veiled partisan BS."
Almost as if, yeah.
Yeah, almost.
It's crazy, actually. Oh, man.
Hypocrisy.
Can't believe it, yo.
Stacey Ellis, thanks for the super chat. D. Walt says, "Thanks for all the hard work and real news. Appreciate it."
Yeah.
Student of History says, "When revolutionaries are break into prison, it's called liberation. We are in lockdown. Many people can't leave their homes at the threat of police interference in their lives. Are we not imprisoned?" You know, sort of. There is a fair point that we've got a pandemic. Yeah. And I'm willing to be like, I'm going to stay home. You know what? I don't want to get sick.
It's true.
They're saying in South Korea, it's reactivating. 160 people got sick again. It was dormant. You might catch this and it never goes away.
That's scary.
Yeah,
we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know.
I think the governments know more than they're letting on.
I think
with
so
these
too.
Reactivations, I think they suspected something and they were like, we got to lock everything down. Because you keep seeing people say, we don't lock down for the flu. Maybe it's because this is worse.
Yeah.
Like, have you considered that?
Or that we simply also don't know.
Yeah.
And some people might know that it's worse.
It's almost like it's worse. Weird.
Jordan says, "Mr. Poole, the other Navy ships of the world, Iran and Russia, for example, have been doing intimidating maneuvers to U.S. Navy ships. With the Theodore Roosevelt out of commission, everyone else is testing our ability to defend ourselves." Oh yeah.
Show 'em.
We're getting dangerously close to the precipice.
Interesting.
Gary says, "Happy Friday, Beanie Brigade. Just spent my Trump change on a new blaster. Do you think Comrade Sanders would be happy I had the government pay for a constitutional right?
I think so. I think he would feel
Take
honored.
those Trump bucks, take them down to your local self-defense shop.
Yes.
And do what you need to do. Trump bucks.
I have a feeling a lot of people did that.
Yeah, a lot of people
Totally,
did.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Hatter says hospitals won't be overwhelmed now if we open. That was the whole point, wasn't it? The goal was to flatten the curve, not stop it in its tracks. We've already won. That's a good point.
Yep.
New York is saying that they've got negative hospitalizations now. More people are leaving than are coming in.
Yep.
All right, then. So we don't reopen right now. They're saying in 1 month.
Yeah.
But they're going to slowly start reopening as of now.
Which is good because there are certain things, like I was saying, the cogs in the wheel need to move, bring some more, like label more things essential to get the lubricant of the machine moving so we can still get food and not go hungry.
We got to get going.
Hydro says, hey, fellas, I'm officially unemployed. Here's some Trump bucks for keeping me sane. I filed for unemployment insurance, but I do have a job interview Monday. Hope Lids feels better. Hope's not Woo Flu. It is not
Thanks,
the Woo
man.
Flu.
Good luck on
Just
Monday.
feeling better.
Jen, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Kyle Miller says, this pandemic has only confirmed my theory that if there was a boogaloo between urban and rural centers, the urban areas would have food shortages in the first month, thus shorten the Civil War 2.0.
That's a good point.
For sure. Nate, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Johan, thanks for the super chat. Eggman says, you guys ever consider hanging something on the wall back there? Maybe a flag? Or maybe that collection of beanies Tim and Adam have acquired over the years from other beanie bearers?
Well,
we
ideally, we'll have a guest here
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
The flag could be cool too, though.
But we got two
So-
spaces. We can put stuff up.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
figure it out.
Honestly, maybe 2 guitars would be cool. We're both musicians and skaters. Maybe a guitar and a skateboard.
Oh, yeah,
It
that'd
would
be cool,
represent
too.
both of us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's a good point.
You know,
let's
think
figure
about
out what to put there.
Arbor's got some really beautiful boards. I should have hit up Arbor.
him up.
And
And
then,
get
Yeah,
we
man.
can put a poster for him or something.
cool
on a skateboard.
Arbor.
That'd be cool.
Arbor board up there.
Scott says, Adam, you remind me of my brother-in-law, who's the coolest, nicest guy I've ever met.
Oh,
Aw.
nice.
Longtime listener, Lydia, doing great. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Slybread says, man, just think, the World Health Organization is a virus detection app you guys pay yearly. Then suddenly your computer gets a virus and your Who app says everything is good. Should I still pay the yearly subscription?
No.
No.
Nope.
No, you
should
shouldn't.
not.
Agreed.
Millions of dollars.
Carl Schneider says, questions. How many times do we give CNN the benefit of the doubt and say it's incompetence and laziness? At what point are we going to finally admit the entire company is the enemy of the people? CNN is truly useless. Well, CNN.com is kind of fun because they have random people writing. They've done like a bunch of op-eds. But let me just tell you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's incompetence and laziness. Chris Cuomo claimed he was locked down and frustrated, trapped in his basement, sweating, when he confirmed a witness account that he was out and about with 2 women and 3 kids.
Yeah.
He was not quarantined. He was lying.
Yep.
CNN was lying. They pretended he was quarantined. He admitted he wasn't. Now they're still going on TV and lying about it. So you know what? Nah, not incompetence, malice.
Yep.
Jason, thanks for joining.
Thank
Student of History says politicians forcing illegitimate and illegal laws are basically saying, do a boog. I said, do a boog. Yeah, exactly. They're poking you. Come on.
Basically,
it.
it feels like it.
Flying Squirrel says, Trump's money machine go burr. Please have some, you crazy honest kids.
Thank
We're
you.
getting all the Trump bucks.
Yeah.
Just raining down on us.
Woo.
I can feel the Trump bucks
I feel the
coming
love.
our way.
Jeremy Griffin says, longtime listener, first-time super chatter. Any thoughts on the quartering mentioning the arrested tabletop MTG store owner who dared run a curbside? Thanks. Frighteningly, you guys are my news. I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that
Somebody
either.
sent me that, and I didn't have a chance to read
Ooh,
it.
we should totally pull it up
Really?
for Monday or something.
Yeah, I'll save it.
He was doing like a storefront thing,
Yeah, I guess
like
so.
out in front.
How is that not okay though? The curbside pickup, like
Yeah.
you tell
Right.
them what you want and they come out and give it to you. Like,
Wow, man.
what's wrong with that?
Dude, it's getting crazy. Jorge Crespo says, thank you for all your hard work from a Chi-Town conservative. Hey, here.
Chi-town.
Chi-Town. Chris says,
Did you say Chi-town?
Chi-Town?
Sounded like chai.
Chi-Town.
Like
No, shy.
Latte?
Chi-Town?
It's Chi-town.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chi-Town.
yeah.
All right.
You said, did I say Chi-Town? So I said Chi-Town.
Sounded like
I
Chi-town.
say it both ways. You got to say it so you can't tell the difference. Chris says,
No. It's Chi-town, man.
I know.
Shout out to Chi-town.
HR 5717. Do you know of it? I do not.
I'm looking it up right now.
Tom Koch says, gentlemen and lady, when you guys have questions about the Navy regarding news stories, see the website USNI News. Highly recommended from this vet. Also, great show. Keep it up. Oh, and spin the UFO.
Again? All right. You
All right.
asked. Here we
Someone
go.
asked.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Will Ferris says, soy Jesus is better than junk yogurt.
Yes. Thank you.
Eric
All right.
Heffelfinger says, government. All right, we're good. Government has law enforcement to police us. We have the Second Amendment to police them. If this continues, we may see just how effective it can be. Well, it's not just about the
I
second.
hope it doesn't come to that.
It's about the first and the second
Yep.
and the fourth and the fifth
Yep.
and the 10th and the 9th.
All of them.
Yes, the Bill of Rights,
We have
basically.
a Bill of
27,
Rights.
yes.
Well, no, the first 10 is basically,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
because when we have the one where it's like, you can't have booze, and then 2 amendments later, it's like, we repealed that one about the booze.
Yeah, forget
I
about that
love
one.
That. How did that become a constitutional amendment? No
I don't
booze.
know. They got everyone to agree.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grant says, I'm sure that someone has already brought it up. The Young Turks as an organization have continued to deny the Armenian genocide. Who, after all, speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians? A certain World War II dictator.
I recall.
Yeah, well, he apologized for it. I'm pretty sure Cenk apologized and said he was wrong.
And yet they're still called the Young Turks.
That's messed up. Yeah, that's really messed up.
Yeah.
The Young Turks is
it's
right.
Messed up. No, I don't.
Imagine if the Young Turks' name was called the Hitler Youth.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Similar.
Wow.
So the one thing I'll be fair on is the Young Turks is used as a general reference to rebellious youth.
Okay.
However, it's used that way because of the Young Turks in the Armenian genocide. So like,
Man.
yeah, and there have been Armenians protesting him, and they won't change the name.
Damn,
That's crazy
messed
to
up.
me.
That's messed
Because
up. I had no idea.
They could easily change it to something that, like, they could call themselves TYT.
Yeah.
And then call it like the young, tribunists, or like, the young teammates.
Or just not have it say anything.
Well-
Just be TYT.
Right, exactly.
That's it. Done.
Yeah.
Let it go.
David says, "Hi, Tim and gang. My question tonight is, what do you guys think of drones eventually being converted to over to recreational vehicles, sky bikes, and forms of transportation? I don't think that will happen.
I see a lot of people getting hurt.
There have done
That's what I see.
dual propeller, like flying motorcycle thing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Maybe if we have, no, I don't see it happening because
Yeah,
they fall and then they
exactly.
hit people on the bottom,
Yeah.
down on the ground. Yeah.
Yep.
Should we just keep reading super chats, or you think we should? Because we're running out of time. Should we just jump to the mega drought story?
She only got 9 minutes left. Jeez.
Let's just we'll just read super chats then.
Yeah. Let's just read super
Yeah,
chats.
super
scroll
chats.
through.
People
Yeah,
super
it'll be fine.
chatted us. They
Yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah.
And thank you all. You guys are great. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody.
Nylena said, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
ADJ says, Tim, the Fed is printing trillions of dollars. Please do a segment on Bitcoin. Perhaps it's difficult because I don't know if I know enough. It would be cool to get somebody, but
We can't wait to have guests.
Yeah, man.
Trust
Right,
we're gonna
right.
have guests.
Itchy to have one.
Yeah, they're coming.
Connor Stevens says, in regard to your statement about dub cheese, dub pepperoni pizzas, and gallon of Coke, calm down, Mike Bloomberg, JK Bud, but giving you a hard time. Hope Lydia's doing well, and soy for the soy god. What I was saying about the pizza stuff was that it's not healthy. People have a right to choose what they want to eat.
Right.
That's true.
I wouldn't
true.
eat it. I wouldn't get a gallon of Coke. And let's
I
see.
do
here.
like my pizza though. It's good.
Walker Nicholas says strippers and cocaine. All right,
Yes,
there you go.
Indeed.
All right, they told us.
A
They told us
crafty-
what to do with it.
A crafty says, Tim and Soy Jesus, do you think about weed liquor stores being essential businesses while religion places are shut down because the government tax on alcohol and weed? Oh, is that why they're doing it?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that makes
well,
sense.
The thing about booze, they take people's booze away. They kind of
Well,
they kinda
for
go
both
crazy.
weed and booze, it's the same. It's like that's a lot of people's vice.
Yeah.
That's
calms them down.
I mean,
Yeah.
not everyone is very like emotionally stable, and sometimes sometimes alcohol is the wrong thing for them,
Right.
but a lot of times people just take the edge off, and right now it's pretty edgy.
The government,
We're quarantined in. People are giving up. They're going crazy. It's like,
but the government doesn't have a right to tell you can't worship.
I
they cannot do
absolutely
that.
agree with
Absolutely
that. I
not.
agree
Yeah.
with
Can't do
that.
that.
That kind of makes sense.
It's messed
though.
up.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a good point.
You know what really bothers me about the people who say like tax the churches? It's like I agree, and then we'll tax every 501c3 because churches are basically just charities.
They give a lot. Yeah. They
You
do a lot of
donate.
charity.
It's not even about whether they do or don't. A lot of nonprofits don't. People donate to them anyway, and they keep 98% or whatever, 92% for their salaries.
Yeah.
So if somebody chooses to give their money, it's like stop playing games, man. People give their money where they want to give it. Joey Giggles says, but Tim has soy Jesus, who's really lucky. You set the path for yourself, but those who enter your life are paths who were meant to be. Your choice of what and how you interact with these people is your choice.
Well, I appreciate
Excellent
that.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very kind compliment.
Carl Schneider says, "Soy Jesus, you're a good person. That's why you feel lucky. If you weren't a good person, you'd be complaining like half the population."
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Amen.
If you didn't have the ability, if you didn't do the work, then you'd be like, it's not fair. Why can't I just have it? You know what I mean?
You got to earn it.
Right.
Got to earn it. Thank you, everybody.
Harry says, "I prefer to be in the audience. We cannot all be stars. Liberate the states. I want to get back to work, and so does everyone else. All hail the hidden hottie." She's not hidden anymore.
No
We got a camera now.
hidden.
She's no longer invisible.
To go back.
G. Rubel says, "Please read The Coming Anarchy by Robert D. Kaplan and The Great Leveler by Walter Scheidel. Both books describe the post-COVID-19 world you've been discussing. The word is bifurcation."
Oh,
Yikes.
That doesn't sound good.
Faux Fire says, "Dr. Phil's PhD is real, but while he followed his education with a year of postdoctoral training at the Wilmington Institute, Dr. Phil is not a licensed psychologist. Conclusion, not a doctor." He has a PhD. I don't think it matters
The
if...
requirement is to have the PhD.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if he's got a license for
Doesn't
psychology.
PhD equal you're a doctor now?
But what do you mean a license for psychology? He's not a
He's
psychiatrist.
not practicing.
Practicing what? A psychiatrist? Psychiatrists are medical doctors, not psychologists.
True.
Jordan Peterson doesn't prescribe medication. He's a psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dr. Peterson, is he not a doctor? Or is he licensed? I don't
Yeah,
even know
he
what that
used to
means.
counsel.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
guess it's a
so-
difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, whatever, man. John McGuire says, "Just read that Bill Gates just filed a patent for leukemerator. It's very similar to a giant microwave. Oh, yeah, leukemerator.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah.
You coined the term.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Let's see. Matthew Adalco says, "Please end the simping in chat. We are above Skyrim at this point. Morrowind, FTW." All right.
Morrowind was the best one so far.
Ryan M. Money for pizza fun.
Ooh, yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Right on.
Patrick Williford, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
LaSalle Rhymes 3 says, "Thank you guys for real talk and hope Lydia is feeling better."
She is?
Are you feeling
I
better?
am
There you
feeling
go.
much better. Thank you.
Patrick Musson says, "The root of most evil in the crisis is that there is still lobbying going on in D.C. In times of crisis, lobbying should be put on hold at the very least." I mean, it's a free speech issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you deal with that.
It's like, it's the money that's involved in it.
But everybody...
Someone made a really good point to me, though. It's like, it's not just the evil corporations that lobby. You know, it's like there's good...
Nonprofits.
There's good lobbying, and I failed to see that. And, you know, it's okay to learn, and that's one of those things.
John McGuire says, "What do you make of Cuomo indicating that vaccines will be mandatory to go back to school?" Freaky stuff. I really just hate the idea of government mandated medication, and...
Agreed.
It has a fine line, though. Like, if this is legit reactivating...
Right. If this is something that will eventually kill off the human population because it's that bad, I'll take the vaccine.
Let me ask you. We've seen now in multiple countries that people who got sick again.
Yep.
If they told you right now, we'll give you a vaccine, you'll never get sick, would you take it?
I mean, I would need to know more information. I'm very iffy about that kind of stuff. I want to know more. Like, has it been, I mean, they're testing. They started testing in Seattle.
Let's say they test it. They say it's approved. We pushed it through. Like, it went quick, but we got the testing done. We think it's safe. And if you get COVID, it will keep coming back forever. Or we get you the vaccine right now.
Yeah, I feel like I'd take it.
I lean towards getting the vaccine.
Yeah, I'd get it.
And it's worrying to me because I'm like, I don't like the idea of having something sped through.
Agreed.
Am I going to, who knows what the long-term effects will end up being?
Well, how do we know how long it should take a vaccine to get through?
I know.
How do we know that it can't be like a year and a half?
That's a good
It
point.
takes forever. We have miles and miles of red tape.
Yeah.
Here's our chance to see how fast we can get a freaking vaccine through. See how fast we can do it.
Yeah, they said 18 months.
I would not
man.
want to get a lung virus that keeps coming back.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it sounds
That
awful.
does permanent damage
To the rest of your body, too.
every time it comes back.
Yep.
Oof.
It's like it's scary. It could be worse than we know. We don't know.
hide in the basement.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good plan.
Done.
Order a bunch of bags of peanuts and
Done
just,
and
Pizza.
done.
and
Yes.
we'll build a fort out of the shells.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
As
just
long-
hide.
Skate ramps out in the backyard.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Stay out of my way.
Peanut fort. Got it.
Horty says,
Praise the sun.
when he has 2 mana open and 3 counterspells open and 2 of them are free. Well, you don't know what's in his hand.
The new force too is crazy, man.
Which one? The Force of Negation?
No, there's if you control your commander, you can counter
What?
for free.
Oh, what are they doing?
Dude, the new Commander cards are crazy. I don't know if you guys play Commander, but man, the new Commander cards are nuts. Anyway, go on.
Ridiculous. J-Max says, go ahead, Tim. Trigger my counterspell. I play blue. I've got Mana Drains, Negates, Swan Songs, and a Pact of Negation waiting in the rafters, baby. Yes, but you got to play through them.
You know, I Pact of Negation somebody sometime, and then they blew up all my lands, and I lost the game.
Oh, no.
You can't just
warning you.
Let me try and explain it in a way that's not esoteric, right? So Magic the Gathering fans understand the reference, and I'm sure there's a decent amount of you.
Yeah.
But to put it this way is, if you know your opponent may have a counter to what you're planning on doing, I mean, like in any facet of the real world, like you're in a sword fight, and you know that if you go for this move, they might block it. You don't just say, I won't do anything. You've got to play through.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'll just lose. You'll be sitting there saying, you're like, imagine if the boxer, it's like a boxing match, and the one guy was just blocking the whole time. Okay, well, you know what? If you don't go on the offensive, you lose. That's it.
Sounds like Merriweather versus Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, sometimes you can tire him out,
no,
right?
he put a couple punches in there, but
Yeah,
it's funny.
barely.
All right, let's see.
Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, I did. It was a long time ago.
We got
Did we get lost?
the good old super chat jump.
Super jump.
Oh man, all
We were doing so
I
good.
think when we get a super
There
jump
we
like
go.
that is how awesome you guys are.
Oh yeah.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys.
Student of History says mortality is inevitable. The best we can do is plant the best acorn of a tree whose shade we will never sit under, but our descendants will enjoy the shade of.
Love it.
Right. Yes, a society grows great when people plant trees in which shade they know they will never sit.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I don't understand why
Under
this
whose?
is so lost on a lot of people. I was watching this like house building show, and they were like cool houses in the world. And there was this one house in like northern England or something. And there's this couple building this crazy house on this cliff, and they were talking about like, isn't this cliff eroding? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, so in like 80 years, your house is gonna fall in. Yeah, we'll be dead though. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Where's your head then? Like, why would you think that in that way? That you're just gonna live it out and then it'll fall in and
Well,
no, that's it.
maybe they'll get a surprise storm and it'll erode in 79 years instead of 80, and then they'll regret their decision.
Maybe.
Or 30 years.
Yeah. IKR says, okay, I've seen Lydia now. Time for Soy Jesus to dance.
Oh, we saw
What?
a little bit of that. Oh, there we go.
That's all you get.
I love
Harry
it.
says, the hidden hottie is no longer. She looks marvelous.
Oh, thank you.
Chad W says, I support climate change. I'm too poor to move to the beach, hoping the beach moves
Hey,
to me.
man.
Yeah,
Look
there
on the
you
bright
go.
side.
It might.
Cheryl-
Careful what you wish for.
Cheryl says, Tim, I'm a conservative great gammy and I heart you. Would you do a video promoting your mom's math YouTube channel? A lot of kids and parents would love. Well, yes, I've mentioned it. I try to be careful because flooding someone's YouTube channel with subscribers who aren't actually interested is a really bad thing. There was like one video that went viral on YouTube where this kid was like drawing dinosaurs.
Okay.
And everyone was like, let's all subscribe to this kid. And it was the worst thing they could have done. So the kid goes from having very few subs to overnight getting hundreds of thousands. And then within a month or two, nobody watched any of his videos, and he felt like he did something wrong, and he got depressed and sad. Little kid said, all of a sudden, no one cares about me anymore.
Oh, man.
He didn't understand. It also destroys the YouTube channel because YouTube says, oof, the content must be awful. Nobody will watch. So you got to be careful about how you promote other channels. Yeah.
Interesting.
Jared Milner says, what do you think about the Boogaloo crowd? How do you feel this plays into encroaching government authority in the pandemic? Do you think there's a possibility for a 1776 style revolution? I don't know about 1776, but I do think we're dangerously close to total breakdown. I'm really bullish on breakdown. When you watch these food lines miles long,
Yep.
I mean, look, we've gone through crisis before. It's not the worst it's ever been. But with everything happening around the world,
The
we're
divided
closer than we've been in
states
a
of America.
long time. Yeah, borders between states.
Yep.
Jeez, dude.
Barb says, I recommend Streamlabs for podcast/stream-related shenanigans. Even have an alternative form of super chats. Also, the chat seems to explode like a DBZ episode when the Lydia cam activates.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see
saw
what
that.
happens.
Boom.
Chris Pavoto says, Adam, still waiting for you to check DM on Insta. Tim, not to share the secrets, but why not make a behind-the-scenes video that might encourage others to try sharing ideas and kind of a fun video to watch? Hello, lady we never see. Well, now
so
you can see her.
That's actually
There you
really, I've been meaning to actually bring that up. Instagram is not the best place to get a hold of me. Twitter is absolutely the easiest way. So tweet at me right there. And, I constantly, will put a tweet out there and, put your ideas on that tweet. On Instagram, you have to like accept messages, and I I don't go on Instagram as much as any other platform. I post something on there, but that's pretty much the extent
It's hard to
of it.
communicate on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't like communicating on Instagram.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Twitter's much easier.
Totally.
All right.
So sorry if I missed your DM.
Josh says, here in Oregon, sun is coming out. Today, traffic was heaviest it's been in weeks. They will not keep us out of the sun. LOL. We only get it 3 months of the year. Nope. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I lived in Seattle briefly. J-Mac says, Cloud basically gets a handy if you choose the luxurious package at Madame M's massage parlor.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Not
for that
family
tweet.
friendly.
It's so true. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
And actually, if you choose the worst option, she like tortures you.
Oh, no way.
It's night and day.
Ooh.
Vosh says, that tweet from those bobbies in the UK reminds me of the original Red Alert music video, if you get the reference. I don't.
I don't.
Mojo Jojo says, Muslims are a protected class in the UK. Talking bad about them can get you arrested, including this message. And to get your YouTube account banned, look up Covington grooming gang scandal. Oh, I've heard about all that stuff. It's creepy stuff, man. Padre Mortala says, sorry, Tim and Lydia. I'm simping for soy beanie. Here's a showing for your luscious wavy locks.
I understand.
There it is.
Should I pull them out?
Flow. Patrick, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Brian O'Connor says, plant your crops now. You can go 3 weeks without food. Get in the van and go. Crops take about 2 months to grow, by the way, so you have your stockpile for that thing. I'm actually looking at West Virginia. We've got a really, really awesome place.
Shenandoah River.
There's really awesome stuff in
Every
West
time you
Virginia,
say
man.
West Virginia, I just get
Good
that
song,
country
man.
roads in my head.
Good
It's
song.
like, it's in there now. Dang.
Bobby Luck says, Tim, I got your reference. Thank you for saying that. I really need that advice. I had a meme flashback to an untapped underground sea and the image of the Force of Will card. we've been playing Magic quite a bit, so it's like
No, I quit.
Yeah, he quit.
I quit
and
playing.
I've somewhat quit because
Quit.
you know.
Quit.
But it's basically, for those that don't understand the reference, it's a card game where, you know, like you have something you can do. You can make a move. Imagine playing chess. You're like, you can make a move, and you're like, but if I do this, they might take my guy. Well, then you're done. Then just stop playing. If you can't take the risk and move forward, you'll never move forward. Foul Lane says, why do I feel like you and Sargon are just different sides of the same coin? Also, Lydia is Hermione. Mm-hmm.
I am.
Skippy Kishi says, USDA said today that they will be buying food directly from farmers and sending it to food banks. The press release.
Oh, cool.
Sure. That doesn't make sense. Some farms, yes. So it's not a complete solution. There's some farms I can do this for. Alex Benz says, YouTube Premium is my favorite thing I pay for. Cool. Southern Gentleman says, Lydia is so beautiful and sweet. Look at that.
Thank you.
Paxton Fairbanks says, fake history porn. American soldier fights off alien menace with tornado gun in the Battle of Earth, April 17, 2020. What?
Whoa.
Cool.
Interesting.
Pineapple in Space has been watching since you built that Zeppelin. I work as a QC chemist during the week and Pepe John's manager during the weekend. Both are considered essential because one makes medical supplies and the other makes food. Love you. Appreciate it.
Nice. Thank you.
But I was really upset when they fired Papa John. That was BS. The guy didn't do anything wrong. A handy redneck says, for Adam, give me liberty or give me death is now been shortened to skate or die. Lovely surprise that Liz is a ginger. She rocks harder now. Ooh, look at that.
Thanks.
All the fans who love the gingers.
I don't know, man.
All right, let's see. About 3 Ninja says, Boogaloo or no, I'm riding in style thanks to my Trump bucks. Just got a 68 Nova to occupy my time. Also, homeschool your kids and grow your own veggies.
Very
Nice. I like your style.
Evil Morty and these Japanese symbols. Thanks for becoming a member. Can't read Japanese.
Thank you.
Spy vs. Spy says, what if that vaccine sterilizes you? I mean, I don't think they would intentionally do that. That would be like the biggest scandal in the history of the planet.
This is where I would want to know the information first before
long-term effects, man.
You're right.
It could be like, oh no, 3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't know yet.
Side effects.
Yeah.
Kane Bizarro says, first time seeing it live. What up to what up? What does it say? What up all? Tom from Queens, New York. Thanks for the heads back in January for the Patriot supply, but still going to be fun when it comes. And my neighbors see it come to my apartment. Yeah. Totally.
Oh boy.
Well, it comes in these like plastic bins. They're cool because they're reusable.
Yeah, they're huge too. Like big old bins.
They're big. We just put them in the closet.
Yeah, they're good.
I haven't even looked at it in months. Yeah. So
New York.
Yeah. St. Miles says, yeah, now I can't sleep. I have seen Soy Jesus without a beanie, and Lydia has been revealed. Great content today.
That makes
Appreciate
it sound like I'm nightmare content. I don't know about
you can't
that.
sleep.
I'm scared.
Oh, no, he wasn't wearing a beanie, and neither was she.
No, that's like something like the kid's in the bed, like, shaking, and the mom comes in. What's wrong? I saw Soy Jesus without a beanie. I see Soy Jesus without beanies.
Beanieless Jesus.
Mark G says $9.99 for a song request. Adam should make a video of him singing Country Roads.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Should do
That'd
it.
be great, dude.
All right.
We
I'll
got
do
the
it.
12 string right there.
You got your $9.99.
No, I'm not gonna do the 12 string. I would probably a 6 string. But all right.
Yeah, that'd be fun,
Okay.
dude.
I covered that song before just for fun, but sure.
We got one
Why
more
not?
super chat. TP says about reinfection. Leading scientists in Germany says tests are not 100% yet. Could lead to reinfection conclusion when actually patient was not cured. That's a good point.
I hope that's
Good
it.
point. Yeah.
Russian says Lydia makes Emma Watson look like Sloth from the Goonies.
Nice.
Thank you.
There you go.
Not a crazy
Nice.
feminist. That
Well,
is.
we're about 10 minutes over because
Oh,
we
boy.
love going late. But
That's all right. It
make-
was worth it, wasn't it?
Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast, at Adam Krigler,
yeah, hit me
Twitter
up.
and Instagram.
Yeah.
You can follow me.
And also at Sour Patch Lids.
Wait.
You can see it right there on the top of the screen.
Well, you'll learn.
There
It's
we go.
lids
There
with
it
a,
is.
lids with a Y for those listening.
Yeah.
And yes, she is poking it.
There you go.
So also subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to help us become bigger and more powerful than you
Share.
could possibly imagine,
Share.
Seems dangerous, but yes.
Please share and tell your friends about us. How awesome or terrible we are.
I've actually
We
had
accept both currencies.
I've had people ask me like, "How come you get so many shares on your content?" And I'm like, I ask people to do it,
Yeah.
Do it.
and some of them do. I don't know.
But I
Right.
do see some of you are sharing it, and even my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I was talking to my friend about your show, and he freaked out that you're my son.
Oh,
he
how
had no
funny.
idea."
Adam's
I was like,
I'm
"Oh,
so proud.
oh, mom."
Aw, that's cute.
She
But
was proud of me.
final thought again, in all sincerity, YouTube gives institutional power to CNN, to MSNBC, to Fox News, to these big, powerful, multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar companies, and we are but humble, basement dwellers,
Podcast merchants?
podcast merchants,
Yes.
coming to you with content that we find interesting, and we do not have that ability. And YouTube actually suppresses us relative to them. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's
Who's
the
gonna
thing.
willfully promote CNN for them? Nobody. So if you actually like the show and you decide to hit that share button or post it somewhere, that is 10 times more powerful than anything YouTube could do for CNN.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will be back Monday at 8 p.m. and we will see you then.
Bye, guys.
Have a good weekend.